Everybody's got excuses, but you got one life to live, one life to give, one moment, one opportunity. Boy, that's it, and it's all said and done. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, you just go ahead and run. Cause opinions are like assholes, everybody has one. They're being constructive or they jealous of the outcome. It's not about the times you fail, it's about the times you got up. And I don't even care what the fuck your excuses is. Fact is, you just playing the cards of foolishness. What you think I'm doing is you gotta get up, get going and just move on. Don't look towards the past, you gotta groove on. You procrastinating now, you gotta get that motivation. I already created a track called Inspiration. Gotta get up, get going and get fucking hype. Go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wrestling Talk Now's Thursday Night Rundown. And boy, oh, look at him. Look at him coming in. Do we put him in yet? Your camera isn't on. Welcome in. Jesus, you done messed me up, Big Red. You done messed me up. Welcome, everybody, to Thursday Night Rundown. We got a lot to get to, from the Sammy Guevara Andrade beef, to new creatives in WWE, AEW's third anniversary show for Dynamite, and of course WWE Extreme Rules coming out this Saturday. So there is a lot to get to, and let's run it down. I, of course, am not alone, though. I am with the crazy one, the oh so loco Kid Crazy. How goes it, good sir?
Pretty good. I'm pretty good for another big week of wrestling. A lot of wrestling we watched this week, and we got Extreme Rules this weekend. So let's get a bit extreme.
You did it. You did that, didn't you? All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's get a bit extreme indeed. I guess we'll talk about the Sammy Guevara Andrade situation first. That seems to be the biggest news, I guess, of the week, with all of AEW's backstage drama going on in the past month with CM Punk and the Elite and whatnot. And and of course, also Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston. True. And now we got Sammy Guevara and Andrade. So it initially started, as all places start now, with Twitter, where I believe it was. It didn't start on Twitter technically. It started with an interview that Andrade gave within a Mexican podcast, basically naming Sammy Guevara as one of the people that he doesn't necessarily like working with, because he's a bit of a, this is pure paraphrasing, not verbatim at all, but doesn't like working with him. And he's a bit of a whiner, says Andrade, because apparently Sammy Guevara was complaining to a lot of people backstage that Andrade hits really stiff. And when Andrade apparently confronted him, and Sammy says, no, there's no problems. There's no problems at all. However, Andrade then just began to still make fun of Sammy Guevara, saying, listen, if you had a problem with me in the ring, deal it with me in the ring. John Cena never complained. He was saying that Sheamus hits hard and all of that stuff. And, no one ever complained. You just kind of dealt with it, almost like grow up, be a man, and whatever have you. Which
basically saying when this stuff happens, usually if I hit you stiff in the ring, you just got to hit me back stiff. That's what it is. We'll go back and forth. Sometimes it's going to happen. This is wrestling, and that's it. And Sammy Guevara didn't like that interview too much.
Didn't like that interview. Do you recall Sammy Guevara's tweet?
Well, basically telling him, listen, you're a liar. You never came up to me. Go back to WWE. We all know you want to be there. The only reason you got hired is because of your father-in-law, and the only reason you're pissed is because for the second time you weren't able to get over.
Yes, that's it. That's perfect. That's perfectly said. And then Andrade retaliated.
See you on
No,
Wednesday.
see you on Wednesday kind of thing. And then he also wrote like, I don't care if I get fired, and
Yeah.
a bunch of things like that.
I'll say what
So
I exactly. I'll name. I don't care if I get fired. I'll name names when I have to. See you on Wednesday.
see you on Wednesday.
So
Exactly.
there. After that, Tony Khan's job is to keep either get these guys in your office and talk it out, or keep them as far away from each other as you can on the day of taping of Dynamite.
So now, before we even talk about what happened on the day of Dynamite, there is context to Tony Khan apparently talking to them on Tuesday about, hey guys, listen, I don't want any altercations. I just want to make sure that everything is going to be great on Dynamite, and we're not going to get anything. You guys aren't. He's like, Andrade, you're not going to get fired. You're just going to get sent home. And Andrade was like, no, I'm good. Then nothing's going to happen. Sammy Guevara said the same thing. And so everything seemed to be fine. There was heightened security for Wednesday. But then shit hit the fan, because just before Dynamite, it was TMZ who had reported it.
Yep.
That Andrade, well, first they reported that Andrade and Sammy were both sent home. And then they had mentioned in the article for some reason that it was only Andrade that was sent home due to an altercation backstage. So lo and behold, Sammy Guevara is still in the main event. We realize Sammy Guevara was not sent home. What had happened here? What is going to happen? Here I'm thinking it's Sammy Guevara's fault, just in my own mind state, because like, dude, this guy had problems with Eddie Kingston. And, you know, if his reputation doesn't precede him to be a great worker, Sammy Guevara to be a great worker. So that happened. However, he was still in the main event. He got his he got his hand raised, and he was also carried by his teammates at the end of Dynamite. So it looked like everything was fine. Everything was fine in the sense that they took Sammy Guevara's side. We were all kind of scratching our heads. And then we got more news. We got more news basically stating that Andrade was the sole conspirator, with either by sucker punching Sammy Guevara a few times and Sammy Guevara not retaliating, and or also just I think the other story was that basically he just kind of was waiting for him in the hallway, and then he confronted him again and punched him a few times there as well. It was eventually broken up, and then Andrade was sent home.
Yeah. It's basically what I heard. I think Brian Alvarez did mention that Sammy did push, from what he heard, from what the sources told him.
Right.
That
So
Sammy
there was
Guevara,
also
that he pushed Andrade. Then Andrade threw some punches, but we don't know if they landed, and then they were separated. So there's definitely a physical altercation there. About Sammy, who's to blame? We don't know the whole story, so it's really hard to pour judgment on this. We do know that some wrestlers are pissed at Sammy for putting out this dirty laundry there on social media. That's basically what they're mad about. You could have taken care of this backstage, talked to him face to face, and we didn't. We did see Mox throw a little shade at Sammy during his promo, basically saying, "Kids, you're a sweet kid." When he said to Adam Page, "You're a sweet kid," and a lot of kids here seem like to get themselves in trouble by saying stupid things, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact quote, but kind of throwing shade at Sammy, and then. During his promo with Adam Page. So
fair.
There's a little conflicting stories there, but it's only normal because when we don't have the whole story, then speculation is bound to show up. But this is a recurring problem for AEW. Like how did they say? Is there any zookeeper in the zoo? It's like or things or is it a free-for-all in the backstage area, and people feel like they can go around and start fights with anybody in the backstage? That's not a good feel, because it takes away, like for interviews, when Tony Khan does interviews, like for example, he did an interview with the MMA Hour, the guy from Montreal, Ariel.
Hawani, yeah.
Hawani, yeah, exactly. And obviously, Wani wants to ask questions about this whole press scrum and CM Punk, and
Right.
he doesn't want to know. TK doesn't want to. Tony Khan doesn't want to know nothing about answering. He goes, I appreciate why you're asking the question, but I don't want to comment. I don't want. And it went on for like 5 minutes. This what it takes away from Tony Khan promoting their show. You got a Battle of the Belts coming up. You got some things coming up. You want to promote your show. You want to promote some big fights. And all you get asked all the time is about these backstage conflicts, and that hurts business.
Right. Completely 100% agree with you. It hurts business. It really even took away to some extent of the 3rd anniversary show.
Yeah.
With all this drama going on, like that's the first thing we hear. And then Tony's comments, just Tony Khan has to just start shutting up, though. I get he's a promoter, but he had also then made a comment, I think, through some sort of interview saying that, like, you know what, if people don't really get or understand my booking, then they're really not into wrestling, or they just don't know what they're talking about. He's really coming off very egotistical.
Yep.
It's almost like he's Vince McMahon if he were running an E-Fed. You know what I mean? Like, you just like get everything. You just, I want these guys. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? But you're not properly running things at all.
He seems a bit disorganized.
Hold on. There you go. Big Red, now you're on. Jesus, sorry.
Waiting.
Sorry.
You didn't message. Why did you message on?
He did
Facebook?
on the private, on the chat here.
Yeah, I just saw it now. I wasn't sure because you had your camera off, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to be on yet or whatever have you.
No, because I'm using my phone, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
got Big Red on the phone this week.
Big Red on the phone. There you go.
Big Red on the phone.
So, what's your take on this Sammy Guevara? I forgot his and Andrade situation.
It's just simply drama. It's becoming a soap opera.
Oh yeah,
and
that's what wrestling is.
Well, yeah, but the soap opera is more interesting right now than the actual wrestling that's happening in the square circle.
Well, even if it isn't, it's taking up more spotlight than the wrestling in the ring. That's definitely, and it's disappointing for us fans, and especially people that I can only imagine the people that have been working so hard. Tony Khan's team around him, the people around him, working so hard to make this company as valuable as possible in the first 3 years that have since passed since the creation.
Yeah,
and it seems that these last 6 months, maybe a year, but 6 months for sure, have drawn this drama has taken away energy from and momentum from what they were trying to build with AEW.
100%.
100%. Yeah. Very, very on point. And I don't see how this helps Tony Khan at all. I don't think Tony Khan obviously expected for this much drama to happen. And I don't know. I think Tony Khan is too close and buddy with certain wrestlers. I did recently just see him at Sammy Guevara's wedding. He was all dancing with him and whatever. Like, I get it. You're cool. You're not buds with these people, bro. You're their boss. Start acting like it. You know, you almost got to be Vince McMahon-esque or Triple H in that sense. Triple H is close with them, but at the end of the day, business is business, and I'm doing what's good for business. But I also know how to run things. You know what I mean? Everyone's walking over Tony Khan.
Yep.
But if I was Tony Khan, well, this is the way I see things, because now there's a lot of guys who don't want to be there, but he doesn't want to release them. I would just release them, because if you're somewhere that you're not happy, you just ruin the product for everyone else.
I'm a little bit conflicted on that, because I do understand the business part of it. It's like, listen, you have signed contracts, just finish them off, and you know we sign contracts for a reason. But I do understand how sometimes you have people that don't want to be there, and then it might hurt the atmosphere, it might hurt the work environment. I understand all that, but I also understand the business part of it from that side of Tony Khan. I just think that. I think it's affecting his capacity to run this company, and I think it might be even affecting him mentally, because you've seen how drained he's looked in these past few weeks in interviews. He looks fed up to answer questions. He doesn't want to answer questions.
He's smoking something.
Well, I don't know if he's smoking or taking anything.
Or snorting.
Yeah, because sometimes he does look a bit overexcited there. Let's just say it like that. So it's probably affecting his mental state too, having to deal with all this. And we can't forget he's running a soccer team. He's kind of running a football team also.
Jeff, welcome.
Hello, Jeff. So I can see how
doing,
this might
guys?
be a bit overwhelming for him. But like Justin said, Triple H, yes, it seems like people like him. He's close with his guys, but they also respect his authority. And I think that's the problem here with Tony, is that some people do not respect his authority. And this is the problem because it's happening with top guys. And that's why it also gets a lot of buzz on the social media and in the media in general, because this is all with top guys. This is MJF. This is CM Punk. This is the Young Bucks and the Kenny Omega. This is okay. Eddie Kingston maybe is not the top guy, but he's probably higher in the middle tier. Sammy Guevara is a 3-time TNT champion. So this is a problem that's I wouldn't want to be in his shoes to deal with this. But at the same time, I think there's a foot you can put down in these situations, and you got to fix it real quick because I think it's hurting the product.
But he doesn't have the foot to. He doesn't have the foot to do it. Like he doesn't have that edge of like
that testicular fortitude.
Yeah, I don't see. He doesn't have the. He doesn't have it in him.
What do you think, Jeff?
I think he would rather just be liked by everybody, and at the same time, maybe that's the way that it attracted talent to the company. That he is a nice guy. It's not a bad thing, but I think that's why he has to split his duties.
Yeah,
he has to give tasks to other people. Have a booker, a guy that's experienced. Have a guy that's part of talent relations. A figurehead, not just a committee. One figurehead that yes, he can have like guys like Christopher Daniels that work underneath him. Fine. He has to split the duties because even Vince wasn't able to do everything by himself, and he didn't. He wasn't alone. The perception was that he probably did everything by himself because that's the image he wanted to portray for himself, but he wasn't alone. He had Vince in the background.
Vince had JR for that kind of thing.
Well, at that time, he had JR. He had Kevin Dunn. This whole time, he had Kevin Dunn behind him.
Pat Patterson.
Too. He always had kind of a close circle around him, helping him with these things.
And it's not like Tony doesn't have anyone. Look, he has Arn, he has Jake, he has former and Hall of Famers that know the business inside and out and how to deal with his egos, but it doesn't seem like he wants to use them.
Yeah, I think Arn Anderson might be able to help out with this whole discipline thing because
100%.
He's got respect from the guys in the locker room. I'm sure he has respect from Tony Khan also.
Yeah,
and
Jerry Lynn.
he could put some wisdom into these guys' heads about how to behave in backstage or in the locker room area. And if anything, he could put all his Glock.
He could what?
He was the gun. Okay, I just got that. Yeah.
It's a 1-year anniversary from his promo with the Glock with Cody Rhodes.
Shit.
Oh shit! Yes, okay.
That's right. They're like, "What? What are you fucking talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?"
For a second, I wasn't sure what you said. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, yeah, the gun, yeah."
But I think he would be a perfect person to maybe help out in this whole discipline, authority atmosphere that's around backstage there.
Because he's from the old school too, so already he knows how it was back then. So to enforce that kind of that authority that he has, that you would have from back then and how it was, could help out the younger guys that don't know what it is to be on national TV, don't know what it is really to be a professional in a mainstream company like AEW is. So
because I don't think they have. Do they have somebody in the locker room? I mean, talent. I mean, a wrestler that can be type of the Undertaker. And let me put it in context here. Like the Undertaker formed that. The People's Court,
Wrestler's Court,
exactly, and they would deal with the internal problems like this.
Jericho.
Well, Jericho would fit for that. Yeah,
and maybe even Omega to an extent, but Jericho's kind of your longest guy there. He's the one with the most. He has 30 years of experience. So But
Yeah,
I
true.
think that's why, and this is two things that we have shitted on WWE for, but now maybe
shitted.
we kind of understand. Yes, we've shat all over them on it.
Okay.
Complete. No. So one, this is why maybe Vince does he doesn't sign contracts for his wrestlers. He makes them as subcontractors. So, and he only guarantees them a certain amount a year, and that's kind of it.
No, not anymore.
And we were always, no, what do you mean not anymore?
Not anymore. Well, it's guaranteed money now.
Well, they have a
I
base.
thought that was still a
guaranteed
thing.
money,
They have a base guaranteed money.
No,
and then they have per
but
appearance also.
it's all guaranteed. It's all guaranteed contracts. That guarantee that they used to have back then, that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh
No, it's not like
I
yes,
thought
it's
that
not
was-
like I think I understand what Jeff is saying. It's like you know what? When Kevin Nash and Scott Hall went to WCW for guaranteed contracts. Well, now WWE does have a guaranteed contract where you're guaranteed to money no matter what happens. But I think they get more money, or they still have like a scale based appearance
right.
payout also. So.
Right, but AEW doesn't have that. AEW is just, I think, guaranteed money. This is it. Boom, 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 no matter what happens. Whereas WWE can still fire you and you would get the minimum based appearance amount, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of maybe, again, I don't know. I'm not in the contract signings, obviously. But I think maybe that where it differentiates from AEW to WWE. But also the wrestlers court thing, I think, is something that maybe does help a lot in WWE. You know what I mean? It does. This whole Sammy Guevara Andrade thing could have easily have been put through like a wrestlers court sort of ordeal, and then all the wrestlers are there and they make their judgments or their calls or whatever have you. I think that's maybe what makes all this aggression kind of at ease a bit for stuff like the wrestlers court and things like that, because they've been doing it for God knows how long, you know. So maybe bringing something like that into AEW would be worthwhile. But it's a wrestlers thing. So.
Yeah, if they had someone, they could go back to the point you made earlier. If they had someone that put their foot down, you don't need wrestlers court. They did it back then because you had so many egos in WWE, so many, way more than there are in AEW.
Yeah.
If you had a guy that put things straight, no, this is the way it is. You don't like it, there's the door. WWE wasn't like that. So they decided to have this wrestlers court because there was too many egos. You almost had no choice but to have one. You know, so is it needed in AEW? I don't think so. I think the guys there are smart enough to follow direction. You just need you need that person to give direction. And right now it doesn't seem like Tony is that guy, because I think he would rather, you know, be liked than somewhat hated. Or
do we think that Tony Khan likes this, what we're doing right now, like, and what the internet and social media world is doing? Like,
I think so.
Talking about this, because I think he puts fuel on the fire by not addressing this publicly. Like, talk about it. Like, say what you mean, or say that you weren't happy. Say these things shouldn't be happening. Instead, he just
I think he does that as at a legality standpoint. He doesn't want anybody to take his words in any way, shape, or form. And he just says no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment. I'll let the internet say what they will. At the end of the day, you're talking about my company. You're talking about me. You're going to mention Dynamite. You're probably going to mention Rampage. You're going to mention all my wrestlers. So at the end of the day, I still think he likes. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So I think he's kind of in that whole thing where it doesn't look the greatest on him, but at the end of the day, hey, you're still talking about me rather than talking about Extreme Rules on Saturday. You know what I mean? And that's a pay-per-view. You're still bringing the attention to me and all that. So
because let's say, just for an example, let's say for Tony Khan on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, he starts off by saying, Ariel says, "What was going through your mind at the press conference on Labor Day? I mean, I was trying to watch you as Punk, who I know quite well, was saying what he had to say. I was dying to know what was happening in your mind at the moment as all was unfolding. Could you share any of that with us?" Tony Khan answers, "I cannot share any of that with you, but I understand why you asked. Were you upset?" he asks. "I can't talk about it, but appreciate and understand that you had to ask." "Fair enough. Could I ask what is the state of your relationship with CM Punk?" "You can ask, but I Appreciate that you asked, but I cannot answer that, my friend. And then what? And then it goes on for like another 2 minutes. Okay, fair enough. Could I ask what's the state of his relationship with AEW then? Like, is he going to come back? Is he suspended? I think there's a lot of blah 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 blah. And he answers, "You can ask, but I cannot answer that, and I cannot comment, my friend." And it goes on like for 5 minutes. So I won't bore you.
I don't have a problem with that though, because I think maybe he just doesn't want someone to want. He doesn't want to air out the dirty laundry in public.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. And also the whole, like Justin said, the whole legal part of it, because especially in this CM Punk thing, I think they're still under investigation, internal investigation. There might still be some lawsuits in the process here. So I understand the whole legal part of it. I'm just questioning if sometimes you just got to address something to try to put some closure to it, instead of just letting the internet speculate and speculate and speculate, and this thing grows and grows and grows. That's where I don't know how he would address that in that way. I'm like,
but why do you want it to close? Why would you want it to come at wit's end? Why would you want it to go anywhere? At the end of the day, you're still talking about his company. You're still going to bring him up every week. You're still not getting the answers you want. We're still at that cliffhanger, right? But, what's going to happen? So at the end of the day, why is he going to just nip it? He knows it's social media. Social media is going to talk. He doesn't have to say anything. The dirt sheets are going to try to get from whatever sources, and it's still going to be brought up. So, and what are you going to do? You're still going to talk about Dynamite, Battle of the Belts, what's going to happen at Revolution? Are we going to see, not Revolution, what's the next one?
Full Gear?
Full Gear? But what's going to happen at Full Gear? Are we going to see CM Punk come back? Are we going to see, you know what I mean? So it doesn't do anything for him to just nip it in the butt. At least not back then, like in the 90s and maybe early 2000s. Okay, it was a thing. But I think even Vince sometimes let a few things go. But yeah, I don't see for Tony Khan's case why he would even try to do anything.
It's like you've got Saturday, not even Saturday. So Friday after Rampage at 11 o'clock at night, you have Battle of the Belts.
And who's gonna watch that?
Well, not you. You're gonna be in bed. I'm gonna watch it.
That's guaranteed. But
that's guaranteed.
Like there's a few matches on there, and it's at 11 o'clock at night. Like these interviews that he's doing on Busted Open Radio and on the MMA Hour would have been a perfect time to let these people know, hey, after Rampage, we got Battle of the Belts going on, and it hasn't really worked out on Saturdays. So we're gonna try a new thing and try it on Fridays after Rampage. So like that, you have 2 hours of wrestling, of AEW wrestling, instead of just one. And no, I know personally of a lot of people that follow wrestling that have no idea there's a Battle of Belts, and they watched Dynamite.
Why are they doing it an hour after and not before? I would do it before.
Because they don't want to compete with SmackDown.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
So that's why they're still doing it at 10. And so he hasn't mentioned anything about Battle of the Belts in his interview?
No. They mentioned two during Dynamite. It was mentioned twice, promoting the thing, and they mentioned that it was going to be Friday at 11. And
that's the only time I heard it. Was
the commentator team also. But I say, if you're not paying attention, if you're watching it, like if you're not like paying attention like us, we watch it with the volume and listen to everything. But a lot of people that are casual, the more casual followers, have no idea that there's a Battle of the Belts on 11 o'clock.
Do we even know the card?
Yeah, we got Pac versus Trent Beretta for the Atlantic Championship.
Yeah, that's the one they promoted on.
Jade Cargill versus Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship. Okay. Right. And ROH Tag Team Championship, FTR versus Gates of Agony.
Oh.
So, and on Rampage, we have Bryan Danielson versus Jericho for the ROH. Or is that next week on Dynamite?
No, that's next week. That's next week on Dynamite. That's in Toronto.
Dynamite. Yeah, that's in Toronto.
Oh, yes, that's right. In Toronto. Yeah, in Toronto. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, it's a shame that this takes away from what AEW does good. But we also have to talk about what AEW does bad. And this is definitely one of the things is backroom, how to deal with backstage drama. And they've dropped the ball with that one. But it's nobody's perfect, and I guess hopefully they learn from this thing, and especially Tony Khan. But now it's twice that it happens. Well, 3 times if you count Eddie Kingston, which wasn't really which wasn't really put out public unless it was after the suspension. It was after the suspension, and people wondered what happened, and then that's that's when it was explained. But it's still a recurring problem that they're gonna have to fix, and it's just one bad thing amongst other good things that are happening with AEW. But we have to talk about it because that's what we do.
This is also maybe why WWE did control their social medias too, though. This is probably why that's probably a thing. Triple H gave it back now. Sort of ordeal, but this is why maybe Vince is just a control freak anyways, so regardless, but this might have been one of the reasons why, because with social media you got Sammy Guevara just shooting, just saying whatever he wants to say, and you create this heat. I originally thought it was a work. Okay, I had thought it was maybe a work between Andrade and not necessarily Tony Khan have anything to do with it, but Andrade and Sammy Guevara just trying to get some momentum for them to do something else. Because Sammy Guevara wasn't doing much, and neither was really Andrade. So I originally thought it was a work, but then with everything else coming out, clearly it looks like it's not. You never say never, but
I don't think it's a work. They're both heels. It doesn't make sense. But also, we thought, sometimes when this real heat or this real animosity between wrestlers sometimes creates money. Well, they tried to do that with the Sammy and Eddie, and their match wasn't a banger. Okay, but it didn't make the real bad blood between them didn't make that match a few weeks later any better. So I don't see how they could. This is a money draw, or this could be a money draw for them if it's a work. I think it's just the
heat is not quite white hot yet.
Yeah.
You need white hot heat. For those who don't know what that means, it means like it's
like the top of the
white hot. Yeah. They need Matt Hardy edge heat.
Yeah.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be the kind the go-to for real life bad blood, turning it into a money draw. That would be the perfect example.
I mean, I don't know if Sammy Guevara tried to go with Charlotte Flair and that was a thing that we heard about, maybe they could turn it into an Edge Lita Edge Matt thing. You know what I mean? But no.
Maybe this is a way. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Maybe this is a way that Sammy's just trying to get himself over because he knows he's not over, and Andrade is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to try to attack the biggest.
It seems like it's a recurring thing for Sammy trying to get over.
Yeah.
If it's with his girlfriend, if it's with the tweets, or
over his marriage.
What were you saying, Justin? Whatever your name is.
It wasn't me. I didn't say
but
you were saying something about Charlotte, and you're saying something about Charlotte.
Oh, I was just saying, unless we randomly heard news of, I don't know, Sammy Guevara cheating on Ty with Charlotte or some stupid shit like that, and then you make that into a Matt Hardy Edge kind of thing. Because the whole thing was with Lita, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or his real wife. Was it Lita or his real wife? No,
it was Lita. It was Lita.
It was with Lita.
They were, but she was the real girlfriend of Matt, and there was a real. She cheated really on him with Edge. But if as promoters, if you guys were promoting AEW, you guys were the owners of AEW, what's a bigger asset to you, Sammy Guevara or Andrade LD duo?
Andrade,
100%.
Me too. What's you, Justin?
Why you have to think about
Sammy Guevara.
The answer is
Sammy Guevara.
What the why?
Bro, like Sammy Guevara is great in the ring though.
Mm-hmm.
So is Andrade, mind you. Yes, absolutely. It's just I feel Sammy hasn't found his place yet. You got to get him out of this whole I'm with Ty, I'm with Jericho's JAS. That's right. Jericho's JAS and all that. I think Sammy, like, yes, you have a lot of people like Sammy in AEW already, but you also have a lot of people like Andrade too. So I think it would be more if you got rid of Sammy and he goes to WWE, I think WWE would know what to do with him. And I fear that is what AEW is on.
WWE has a guy like Sammy. Austin Theory.
That is similar there.
Similar. Yep.
I think the only thing
Andrade, even though Andrade has that, even when the way he cuts his promos, you can he's like that aristocratic. He has the accent fine. The way his promos is, his in-ring work is great. The way his promos is and everything, it's a million times better than anything Sammy could do. Sammy's work is okay. His promos are shit. So
definitely,
you have one guy that
great.
does. You have one guy that does two aspects of what's most important about a wrestler really good, and you have one that's pretty good enough in the ring, and his promos are crappy. So that's why, for me, Andrade is.
I think the only thing that Sammy has going for him if we are to compare both guys, I think it's the age factor, and we don't know what Sammy's ceiling is. That would be the more of. If I were to weigh the pros and cons, on the pros on his side was that he's young and that he is so talented in the ring. Can he improve the other aspects that we need him to improve to become a top star?
But who's a better wrestler, though? Andrade or Sammy?
Andrade.
I think Andrade's a better worker. I think Andrade's a better worker.
Yeah, better worker, but I think Sammy's more athletic.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
I think
when Sammy when Sammy's on his game, I'm sorry, but. And I've been bashing Sammy because I think if I were to choose a side in this whole thing, obviously not knowing the specifics
Full
of
story.
it, I have a tendency to go towards Andrade. But that being said, Sammy was on fire last night.
Oh, amazing!
I think that's one of his best performances, maybe top three performances since he's in AEW. I think he had a chip on his shoulder when he came to the ring. He wanted to prove something, and he put on a great match. And I think to say he carried the match is a bit too much, but I think he was on fire yesterday. So I think there's potential, and we don't know what the ceiling is, but I know what I get with Andrade. A good worker, has the charisma, can pull off a promo even though he can't speak English for shit.
He's a lot better now though.
Yeah.
Compared to when he was in WWE, he's a lot better.
Yeah. He is a lot better, but I would still pick Andrade because I think I could, as a booker, as a promoter, I think I could get more from Andrade than I can from Sammy. But that's just me.
But that record speaks for itself.
As of what Kid Crazy was saying, with age wise, Sammy could be young, but the way he wrestles with all his high moves and whatever you want to call it, who knows how long his career would be. With Andrade, you have someone that is more in-ring and could be one day at the face of a company. I don't see Sammy as a face of a company.
Yeah, I agree with that because Sammy is all about the high spot.
Exactly.
Andrade could pull off the high spot despite him being twice the size as Sammy. He could do that because he has that training, that Mexico mentality.
And when Sammy,
it's about storytelling.
I totally agree there. And when Sammy says that he's just pissed off because for the second time he wasn't able to get over, we have to remember Andrade in NXT. Andrade was a hell of a good champion in NXT.
Over.
Hell of over.
Yeah.
So booking didn't go his way on the main.
Sammy never
roster.
watched NXT though, so you gotta give him that.
So maybe you'd probably give him that. He wasn't one of the 500,000
Sammy has to
people
keep his
watching
tongue in his mouth.
Right.
But yeah. So I remember that Andrade as world champion or as NXT champion, and he was pretty over. So yeah. That's it. That's my opinion on this whole take. I think 40 minutes we gave to this whole beef.
40 minutes just off Sammy and Andrade. Tony Khan is fucking laughing his ass off now. If he ever randomly watches this fucking podcast, this is the one to watch. So you can see that he's over.
But alluding to the point where you said why Tony doesn't bring up the dirt of the company, this is what he wants. We're talking about the product, even though there's heat there, but he wants us to talk about the product.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. Okay, I'm not saying that they went back over 1 million yesterday because of this whole backstage drama, but I definitely know there's some people that probably watched Dynamite just to see what was going to happen because they had saw it on Twitter or something back and forth. You saw the guy saying, "See you on Wednesday." Oh shit, something's going to happen. They went to go watch. So I understand that whole the whole marketing piece of it, and let it roll. Let the speculation roll, and let's see where it lands. So that's it.
And
okay,
I guess
let's
the
talk about.
next. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
do it.
Go ahead.
Do it. No, do it. I want to know what you want to talk about.
I'm really intrigued, and I really think it's an important thing, and I'm really excited about this new hire, WWE, the director of long-term creative.
Oh yeah,
Rob
which
Fee,
apparently,
I think his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's worked at Disney Plus. He's worked at Marvel for comics. He's also written a few for a few shows, sitcoms, I think it was. And he's also worked with them before being hired, permanent hire, as this director of long-term creative. He was also helping out with this whole White Rabbit QR things going on. So
and
he
also had pitched a movie too with Bray Wyatt or something, doing some sort of movie thing with Bray Wyatt, and WWE was really behind it, but then they let Bray Wyatt go. So then they kind of let him go as well. Yeah, so just to add to that, he also so the fact that he was going to work with Bray Wyatt before just already alludes. We already kind of know, and I hope it's not a fucking swerve, because I don't think there's anyone bigger than Bray Wyatt coming.
No, because I think like we mentioned last week, me, Jeff, and John on this is I think you've gone so far, you've gone too far in the obviousness of this story, and I think that anything other than Bray Wyatt will be a disappointment for fans, and it might ruin the whoever else it is. Let's say somebody comes out and it's Joe Gacy or whoever. There's some alludedness to some of the videos in this QR codes alluded also to Aleister Black, but we know that Aleister Black is not released from his contract technically, so he wouldn't be able to be there. But if anybody, and if it were to be anybody else but Bray Wyatt, I think that that debut would be overshadowed by the people being disappointed and probably booing him out of the arena. So I don't see how they can swerve on that, because even this week again, the QR codes pointing all to Firefly Funhouse segments and stuff like that. So
Alexa Bliss as well.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss as well. So everything's pointing towards that. So anything other than Bray Wyatt will be a disappointment for people following, and especially the people, because we know that Marvel does this a lot, even DC, the whole Easter eggs in their movies,
right?
That you do, and people actually follow these stuff and go check these stuff out, and now you're creating a buzz, because I think it was 2 weeks ago, SmackDown had a huge, when I think it was the 9/23, yes, the September 23rd SmackDown had a huge boost in ratings. Because people thought the Bray Wyatt was going to show up, because they went to go check the QR codes and check this and finish the Hangman game, and they brought them to that. So the buzz it's creating is definitely helpful to the company, and that's why I think this is a good hire, especially because we all chat on WWE about their long-term booking. So basically, you would start a storyline, you do the storyline, and okay, something else comes up, bang, you kill the storyline, and there's no finishing to the story. There's no nothing. You just start something new. So at least there's this guy that can say, okay, we have the story. It seems like an interesting story, but in the long term, where do you want to go with the story? And that's what it can change and make it better.
We're going to see on Saturday.
Did he have anything to do with the Loomis things, with the car crash on Raw, like from a few weeks ago? And
that would
then we saw the fire dumpster burning.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of along his lines of with the QR code and so on. So that just sounds like that's his bag, especially if he worked with Marvel and did anything with the Avenger stuff, which I think it said that he did in the reports. Again, all those Easter eggs. So, yeah, I mean, and if he's there long term, then it's looking good, hopefully. So,
and
but it's got to be wide. So
I like a leader when a leader surrounds himself with strong people and puts himself in a circle or builds a circle around him of strong characters and that are very good at what they do. And if this is the case, I don't know this guy and I haven't read his comics and stuff, but if he has been around for this Dexter Loomis stuff and for the QR code, I'm willing to give him a chance, and especially to Triple H for hiring him. I don't think Triple H is an idiot, and if he's doing this for a reason. So I want to see where this goes storyline wise in all stories.
Well, they've hired people from Hollywood before, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, but they've hired a lot of soap opera writers, and
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true.
And it was kind of like I don't know, that era is kind of done, you know. That was more of the Attitude Era, maybe a bit of the Ruthless Aggression era. But now people have moved on, and with the social media and all this, I think there's other ways you can find to do it. And if this guy is able to do it, then why not? I'm all for it. Like if this is this kind of stuff he's gonna bring, bring him up.
If we see Bray on Saturday, which I believe we are, how are we gonna see him?
By him showing up.
I know, but
through the TV.
He's okay, guys.
No, we're joking.
See him in a match? Are we gonna see him interfere?
No,
probably interfere.
We're not gonna see him in a match. You're not gonna see him in a match.
No, it's not Cody Rhodes.
No,
but I do think he might interfere, or maybe not even show up, but have him something show up on the big screen relating to Bray Wyatt during a match or during a segment.
Okay, so it's still a tease then. You're saying it's still going to be a tease. We're not going to see Wyatt.
No, I think
because there was the QR code for Extreme Rules, so this could still literally be a tease.
I think yes, it could be a tease. I think it will be a reveal, but not necessarily with him in physical attendance. Like we will. I think there will be a reveal. We will find out this is Bray Wyatt that's behind this, but I don't think if he's going to be there in a physical attendance, because I think having him not be there in physical attendance and then the next day your ratings are going to go higher because people are going to want to see him now.
Is he coming alone?
Especially on your season premiere.
On your season premiere, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're going to get from Bray Wyatt. But
is he coming alone?
Good question.
We don't know. Good question. Will he bring back?
We're talking about
maybe Joe Gacy. Maybe Joe Gacy is going to be part of his new Wyatt family and whatnot. That might still be a thing. But you can't have Joe Gacy alone coming out because that's not going to go well.
Unless we have, like we've talked about, a live action version of the Firefly Funhouse. So the rabbit, the buzzard, the pig, but all in live action. So not necessarily them dressed as those animals, but like because then that would be a bit 1980s wrestling there. But like representing the what was it? The white rabbit would be Karrion Kross type of thing. The pig would be Braun Strowman type of thing. The buzzard, the buzzard would be either Dexter Lumis or Joe Gacy. But I think Dexter Lumis would be a great fit for the buzzard there.
Yeah, that would be a great fit. Yeah.
I think if they were to come back, that would be a good way to do it. But I don't know if they want to do that right away. I think maybe you keep the mystique around Bray Wyatt and then have him bring in his other people around him as we go along.
But if it is him, this big buildup, and then at the end of the day, there's no payoff, it's a waste of time. Because I think this is his last hurrah if they bring him back. Because how many times are you going to repackage this guy?
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing against him. I'm not saying he's bad, but it's like how many times are you going to repackage this character in hopes he gets over, regardless of who's in charge? At the end of the day, Triple H could have been in charge before, and if the crowd didn't connect with him long term, then.
But I think he was over as the first.
He was over though.
As the eater of
worlds.
The eater of worlds. I think he was over. I think booking fucked him up, and then they tried to repackage him where they shouldn't have. I think
the Fiend fucked him up.
Well, the Fiend was
and I think that was due to the booking though too.
Yeah.
At the same time, like I think a lot of Wyatt's issues were due to the booking aspect. People loved his characters, whether it be the Swamp Wyatt or the Fiend. People like the Fiend, but then again, they kind of booked themselves into a wall because you're making this guy all super powerful, and then you just don't know what to do with him. That obviously the Seth Rollins Hell in the Cell thing
that hurt a lot. Booked
horribly wrong, and then that's what completely fucked up the Fiend.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it had to do with the booking. Vince obviously was in control of the booking for the most part, and we'll see. This is his last hurrah, and here's to hoping Trips, because Trips would give him a lot of more creative control than Vince did. So maybe that would help Wyatt or Rotunda do what he wants to actually do with these characters.
Trips did address this in a recent interview. He said probably one of the most creative persons he's ever met, but a big clusterfuck. So if there's nobody to, no, he didn't say clusterfuck, but I'm paraphrasing. But
just imagining Triple's voice saying that. A big clusterfuck.
But what he's saying is basically he's so creative, but he needs somebody there around him.
He needs someone to control him,
to keep him inside the circle, kind of thing. Control the boundaries there. So it looks like it's Triple H saying, yeah, it didn't work because of the way they took care of him before. I know how to take care of him. I've took care of him before in NXT, and I can do it again. So let's see where this goes from here. And I'll trust him, but I definitely agree with both you guys that this is, considering how his career has gone so far, this might be his last hurrah in getting over to the way we expect him to get over. Because if it doesn't, I don't see how that could happen in WWE, and again with another repackage or with another way to try to get him over. It's going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, you said everything we needed to say there. So, what else do we got? Was there any other crazy news before we head to Extreme Rules? Oh, well, the new commentary team, I guess.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I guess would be a good place to go. So season premiere, WWE just announced, or I think it was covered by Variety or something first, announced that there will be a new commentary team for all Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, as well as a new duo for the pay-per-views. And it's all going for duo commentaries. So Raw's commentary team will be Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves.
That's going to be hard to watch, man. Listen, sorry.
For Kevin Patrick?
For both.
Do you not like Corey Graves? Well, you're just a hater on Corey Graves. I don't know why.
Where's Kevin Patrick from?
I don't know.
He's from, he did the backstage.
Okay, he was doing backstage interviews.
And he did a bit of NXT UK.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so
I definitely prefer two guys. That's why I haven't heard much. But I definitely prefer two team commentators than three. It gets too much going on. I like the one heel, one face, and you go back and forth.
At least Saxton is not going to be on camera a lot, so we're good about that.
Well, Saxton was okay. It was kind of goofy, but it kind of worked because all the commentators picked on him. Now Saxton is going towards a backstage interviewer role. And so is Cathy Lee. Was that her name?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh.
She's back. Yeah. So
that's a good thing.
I don't recall her stuff. I think she was mostly on NXT, correct?
Yeah, I think she was the host of The Bump also.
She was on Raw.
Oh, she was the host of Bump. Okay. She was on Raw too? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. The only backstage interviewer I care about is Renee. All right. SmackDown's duo, you got Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. That's fucking interesting.
Another one of Big Red's favorite guys.
I actually I'm since Triple H is on
I'm
lead.
Afraid I have some bad news.
Oh God. Oh God! Please tell me he doesn't bring that back.
He won't. He's a commentator. He's good now.
Well, he might bring it.
He might. That's fair. And then NXT, we got Vic Joseph and Booker T.
I mean, that I'm interested.
Who's that face?
Why the fuck are you bringing in Booker T for NXT?
Quack, quack, man.
Oh, I better not hear that quacky dacky, whatever the fuck that thing he does, or whatever the fuck he does. Yeah, on his pre-shows.
He's still gonna do it.
He's definitely not. I hope he doesn't do it. But I just don't get why for NXT. I didn't mind him on Raw or SmackDown. But I'm not, I just don't get why NXT.
I guess he lives in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's in Texas, isn't he?
He doesn't want to travel.
Texas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in Texas.
But he's in Texas.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I guess this is no surprise to anybody. Jimmy Smith is fired or was let go of the company. He was, of course, on Raw, and he was not.
He got let go, or he left.
I don't know. There's reports saying that he got let go, and then he wrote on his Twitter that he left. So, or his contract was done. I think maybe it was like a year contract or something.
So it's the third company he leaves in a year and a half. That's interesting.
Yeah. So UFC
and Bellator.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't know. He wasn't the most charismatic there. He didn't. He knew his stuff. He knew his wrestling stuff, but I don't know. He didn't make the show more interesting.
No.
So,
the what they have now not gonna do anything either.
Well, Corey Graves is okay.
Corey Graves is great. Yeah.
He ain't no Pat McAfee, but we can't expect everybody to be Pat McAfee here.
No. And Pat McAfee is expecting to return after he does his ESPN thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe he'll go on Raw. And they'll redo the 3-man commentating team.
I don't know if they will, because I don't think he wants to. I think he prefers SmackDown because it's Friday. Then he finished doing his podcast all week. Then he flies to wherever he needs to fly on Friday night, and it's kind of like going out type of thing.
It's just at least everything is done. Okay.
Instead of flying to wherever he needs to fly from Raw and then flying back to Indianapolis to do the podcast the next day. I don't know, right. But I don't think that would be something he.
But he'd be done. He'd be done for the rest of the week, though. At the same time, so does the podcast? He flies. At least it's done for the rest of the week. He just maybe has to worry about for the pay-per-views or whatever. But that might not be that bad.
No,
and he can always postpone his podcast for pre-record it too at the same time.
Yeah, it's been done before. Yeah,
is it coincidence that WWE hired someone from Disney, and then one of their guys goes and work for ESPN? I think there's an underline there.
Who works for
Disney? Buyer, perhaps.
Well, definitely is.
ESPN belongs to Disney.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's definitely a correlation there.
I don't. Wait, so you're thinking WWE and Disney have like some sort of new deal cooking instead of NBC?
But we've been talking about a potential. We've said it for a while now. Potential buyer for WWE.
I wouldn't be surprised if Disney buys it. To be honest with you.
And the TV contract's coming up soon. So maybe it's not
that soon though. It's like 2 years still. No, it's for 2-3 years.
If I'm not mistaken, the 1 year difference, I think, with NBC, with Viacom and Fox. I think Fox was signed after, and I think was a 4-year deal. And I'm not 100% sure. And I think Viacom was or NBC Universal was a 5-year deal. So I'm not pretty sure, but it felt weird that even Michael Cole announcing it on SmackDown, saying that Pat McAfee was going to oblige to his football duties. He never mentioned ESPN because they're on Fox, and Fox too has college football. So
Fox
you don't want to promote your opponent there. So I don't know. I definitely like Pat McAfee, and I want to see him back as soon as possible. I think he's a huge asset for.
He's the best. WWE. He's the best one there.
Yeah,
but
modern time.
If Disney opens up the checkbook, there's no reason for him to want to leave, unless he has a deal with WWE, a long-term thing. But
he just signed a multi-year deal.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
I did.
But there was probably a clause there that would permit him to do his stuff on the side like he's doing now. There's probably a clause saying if he gets offered something about football or something, then he's allowed to go do it. And they probably suspend his WWE contract in the meanwhile. Because if they suspend the contract when you get hurt and you're staying home, I can't see how they won't suspend the contract when you're going to go work for somebody else.
Well, maybe he got it into his claws though, too, at the same time. Who knows? I mean, the guy Pat McAfee, I think, has the most relaxed relationship with the higher ups. I would say with the company, he's been good with everybody. Everybody likes him. It's because the guy just does what he wants to do and he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't need WWE. You know what I mean? But because he's so good with commentating, and some might say his wrestling is also good as well, although he did fuck up at WrestleMania. You know, and that's what works for him. He doesn't give a shit because this guy already has other multi-million-dollar deals aside from wrestling. So, you know, he's not expendable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He definitely has leverage there, and no doubt.
Definitely has leverage for sure.
Yep. So, do we have any other breaking news other than commentating? I think that's about it.
That's about it. Well, that wrestler there, Tough Enough.
Oh, passed away. Yes. What was her name?
Sara.
Sara. Yes. The Tough Enough winner passed away. We don't have too much information on that, but we just found out today. So they rest in peace. Also, Antonio Inoki, rest in peace.
Yep.
Definitely a legend. Definitely did maybe not as much as Vince, but pretty close to for the business as Vince.
Well, in Japan, I would say.
Japan, he's the
more.
Vince McMahon of Japan. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
No, he's Jesus in Japan.
Yeah.
He's the founder of the crowd wrestling.
No, he is. He founded New Japan, first of all.
He founded New Japan. I think he had something to do with Pure also at the beginning.
Yeah.
So his
New Year's Eve shows were legendary, and New Year's Eve shows in Japan are massive TV ratings.
Yep.
So yeah,
the shoot
was like,
for people, the more casual fans, maybe you'll remember him if you don't know who we're talking about. But the shoot fight with Muhammad Ali. That's basically for people outside of the hardcore wrestling fans. You'll probably know him from that, which was a funny story. I heard that on the podcast today, listening to about that, where they couldn't get to an agreement on who was gonna be over in that fight, who was gonna get over on that fight, and so they decided to do kind of a shoot, like have a real fight, but with like a million rules. Basically, Muhammad Ali couldn't get hit in the face. And Muhammad Ali couldn't give some kind of real punches or something like that. So basically, Inoki, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff here, but he basically laid on his back the whole time, and just was kicking the shit out of Muhammad Ali.
But that one photo lives to this day. Muhammad Ali standing over Antonio Inoki. So. Even you can say what you want about that fight, but just that picture is legendary.
Oh no, and Muhammad Ali said after the fight, he said in interviews after the fight, saying this is probably one of the fights that took the most out of me. So
I think there was even a respect between both of them, because if you remember the North Korea show that WCW did back in 94 or 95. And Ali was at that, and it was Inoki that like hosted it.
Wanted him there
as a peace offering. So he was above and beyond. I think a lot of people on this side give him credit for.
He probably could have been president of Japan, no joke.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to Antonio Inoki, which probably is the father. Would I be correct in saying he's the father of strong style?
Yeah.
So for all these guys we see now, Nakamura and Tanahashi's and all these guys, there would be none of these guys without Antonio Inoki.
Those are all Inoki dojo proteges.
Exactly. So thank you for these many years you've given us, and rest in peace. I just wanted to say before we go on the rundown, because I've blasted him for a few times about how he's always throwing shade at I'm talking about Tony Khan here. Why he's always throwing shade at WWE. And he finally explained why. So I'll give you the quote here. So this was taken during, I think, Busted Open, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. What's the Yeah, busted open, I think. That's it. And he says here, he goes, about the shots he keeps taking at WWE. He goes, the executives at Warner handed me a book. It was about how to be a challenger brand. This is what you are, a challenger. This is what you are. A challenger brand, I learned then 3 years ago, is not the industry leader, but it is also not a niche brand. It is not that. It is a big company. It is Pepsi to Coca-Cola. It is Burger King to McDonald's. What will get Burger King marketing? What is Burger King marketing? Basically, a lot of it is, hey, McDonald's shit, guys. So now we know why Tony Khan.
So he was thinking in a business aspect. It wasn't because he's salty. He was just more thinking of like, he was just thinking about the business side of things.
Basically,
but I mean, it's still a bit petty though, too. Because how many times does Burger King really go after McDonald's? You have subtle commercial hints once in a while, but it's not every week. Yeah. You know what I mean? And McDonald's didn't make a commercial, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, fuck Burger King. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't a thing. It was once in a while. So I get what he's saying, but you're taking shots every week. But again, it's just like the backstage scenarios. You know,
he's deflecting.
Whatever.
He's deflecting. He's deflecting, basically putting the blame on the executives. Listen, guys, it's not me that's being petty. It's the executives that told me I got to be a challenger brand. And I got to say the other guys suck for you guys to think that I'm good. So I just wanted to mention that. About
I just wanted to blame it on them. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So, okay, let's do what we hear. Let's go for the rundown.
Boom. What are we doing? Are we going from SmackDown or are we just hitting Raw and Dynamite? Was there anything? Well, I mean, I guess the SmackDown scenario. Obviously, that whole honorary Ooze segment was that this week?
No, that was the week before.
Never mind. Sorry. I was in
this week was a tag team: Sammy and Sikoa versus Ricochet and Moss, which was a good match. That opened up SmackDown. Then it kind of continued with the whole Jay backstage and Sammy beef going on. Then Drew came out, a little segment with Theory, but wasn't that important. KO. Oh yes, this was a very good match. Kevin Owens and Gargano versus. Well, they came out. Sorry, it wasn't. I'm getting the wrong. They didn't fight. They came out to promote. I guess what was coming for Raw, right? Johnny Wrestling. Yeah, that's it. So they came out there. I like the chemistry between KO and Gargano. Hit Row against Los Lotharios. Again, you're losing me with Hit Row. I don't know what they need to do, but because the comeback was over, they get the pop, but after a few weeks, the balloon is deflating there. So you gotta find something for Hit Row. And I guess that's basically it. Imperium beat up Sheamus. Shotzi's back with the tank, so that's another thank you, Triple H, for being for Shotzi bringing back the tank. She fought Bailey, but Bailey destroyed her. Yeah, it was it was good.
So she brought the tank, but the tank did not help her. Bailey had to get over.
Yeah, Bailey had to win. We have to make her look strong in the build up for her match with Bianca at the Extreme Rules. And the show ended with the trios match of Gargano, Drew, and KO versus Alpha Academy and Theory. That was a good match. Good match. I like that they even on Raw they're keeping KO around whenever Drew's around. So it seems like they really want to put inside your mind, inside your brain, that KO is part of that main event picture.
Right.
So they really want you to continue with that. But overall, I think SmackDown has been a bit weak in the last 2-3 weeks. I know they're putting a lot of their efforts on Raw because SmackDown does always get their 2 million. And I know they're going up against Monday Night Football on Raw, so they want to make that product as strong as possible every Monday night. But you can't let the other one go down. So we're gonna have to get a bit better.
I mean, if he still hits 2 million, though, is it really going down? That's the thing, right? So
yeah, Yeah, but I'm
Because what
scared
else
that
is there on Fridays? Mondays is because of football, so you're kind of fucked there.
yeah,
Fridays is really nothing else. So as long as you have, because I think honestly, from what I've saw the past 3 weeks, the only really big segments are the ones with usually are the ones with the Usos or the Bloodline in it.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
biggest rating.
definitely.
So as long as you get them in there, you're good. You'll get your ratings no matter what, and you'll get
Yeah, and I
your
think that's the floor for them is that 2 million on network television,
yeah.
and that's it's 2 million on network television. And I know
Right.
how it gets easy. It gets easy to be complacent, I guess, with that 2 million and try to get the Raw up to 2 million. But it's like for I don't know. But for me, for the fan that follows every single show, I feel like that there's missing something, and I don't want that to get to the long term, and then yeah, that's it. So I lost a bit of my track of thought there, but okay. So that was SmackDown. I hope it gets better. That's it. Rampage. What do you guys think about Rampage? Actually, Rampage. I like this Rampage, and the last two Rampages have been with Grand Slam have been good. So I guess they're trying to ride on that 2-hour show of the Grand Slam, and hopefully this translates into long-term ratings for Rampage. The Acclaimed. This whole this was yesterday. The scissoring
National Scissor Day.
Scissor
Yeah,
Day.
that shit was over like crazy.
It was, and I love the chant. Scissor me, that scissor me. How does it go?
Scissor me, daddy, or
Yeah,
something
scissor
like
me.
that.
Yeah. And I guess it's I guess it is over.
I mean, the fact that they're trying to make it like, oh, the scissor, it's a handshake. We're all uniting. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it like they're trying to make everyone united with it, kind of thing. So I thought it was cool. And then Swerve coming out with that. Also, too, Swerve's line will forever be embedded into my head with, oh, daddy ass, look at you wearing another shirt where. What is it? Wearing another shirt this decade that kids are going to be sent to the principal's office for. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh, I was like, what? That was like perfect writing.
Yeah. And he found his new catchphrase, right? When he said at the end of that promo, I got 2 words for you. Scissor me.
Scissor me.
That was not clever, but it was a nice
Well,
way.
it was just obviously a nice little nod to DX days.
But the Acclaimed are over, no doubt
Way
about
over.
it.
Yeah.
And they're pulling out some good matches also. So you're getting a good combination of being over with the crowd, keeping the momentum going, and putting on good matches in the ring.
And now AEW stands for Acclaimed Every Wednesday.
Yeah, true. That was another good line. That was another good line. We saw As Boys also on Rampage. Maybe finally we're gonna see FTR on TV again, which is something I think we all agree we'd like to see more of.
For sure.
And this comes after. I don't know if Rampage. Yes, Rampage did come after the FTR said that in the ring. In a match where they were doing, I think it was New Japan, if I'm not mistaken, where they said, hey, Tony Khan, we still work for you, book us. So,
nice.
So I guess Tony Khan listened, and looks like.
But do they have they been re-signed? Technically, because they had contract issues, right? Their contract was done.
I think they're on a per appearance basis or per week basis until they get renewed. But they are ROH champions. Which technically still links them to Tony Khan, and they did say they still work for them, so that they still work for him.
Right.
So, and they had booked the storyline behind the Ass Boys was that they wanted FTR and one of those tag titles. I hope that they don't give the ROH tag titles to the Ass Boys or the Gun Club, whatever their real name.
If Daniel Garcia and Daniel Bryan end up being a legitimate tag team, I feel like you give it to them.
Yeah. I
but
guess
because that would be that would be a team kind of good enough in comparison with FTR. Ass Boys is nowhere near there yet. You definitely have to build up the Ass Boys a bit more, or the Gun Club. Excuse me. Yeah.
Or maybe you could have a match, but definitely not for the title. And then surprise us. Like make Gun Club have a great match with FTR, and I think FTR can carry the Gun Club into having a very good wrestling match, and then have the people like, oh, they're not that bad, and then work from there, because they're not credible yet to be in that conversation, in any tag team conversation with the champions.
Right.
So I think that's where we are. What's his name? Dolph Ziggler's brother. It's Ryan. His name.
Ryan Nemeth.
Yeah, Ryan Nemeth. So he comes out on Rampage. Like these guys, they have to work. So that's something else AEW has to work on. Is how to put together your off TV shows and your national TV shows, because a lot of people that watch Dynamite or Rampage, they know who Ryan Nemeth is, but they don't know what he's been doing on Elevation and on Dark. So you come out having him have a promo and just Hook coming out and just choking him out. So I don't see where the point of that segment was at all. It's not like they named that they had a match on Wednesday, and they haven't.
Did they do something with that with Elevation though? Like you were saying.
That's what I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I would have to check the Elevation results or the dark results, but like I felt like that was useless. Unless they had it was to promo maybe an Elevation, a Dark Elevation, or a Dark match that they're gonna have. Then okay, maybe. Then because I've said that was a way to do it, to elevate the ratings of those matches on YouTube, of those shows on YouTube, would be a good way to promote them on your national TV programs. So I'm not going to shit on them for that, but it's just watching it without knowing what's happening on those other shows, it felt useless. Maybe
then tell them, because they didn't say anything. Exactly. They didn't say anything on Rampage at all about it.
At all.
So I don't know if it had, find out on Dark Elevation what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like do a little something, cross promote, because it's
exactly that's.
I mean, they're still getting good views technically on YouTube, but I mean, you know, you could get more if you just.
But it's like what, like 10%? Yeah, exactly. So it's about like 10% of people watching Dynamite watch the show. So it's really the hardcore niche AEW fan that really will watch that. So you still have 900,000 people that have no idea what's going on with that segment. So I found that's something to work with there. A video package of Mox and Adam Page then followed. I think that match could be good. I think we're gonna like that match. I think they're two good workers.
And I like how they're building that up too with Mox's promo with him on Dynamite.
Yep.
You know, we've always been circling around each other, but we never got to fight. We're the last two kind of that haven't fought each other. Mox, I don't know. I don't know if he's always been this good at promos or it's just a recent thing. But he can fucking do a really good promo. Like, always interested in what this guy's saying now.
I felt
like I didn't feel that before. Yeah,
even before, even when he was, I think they were even better. Well, maybe not as they are now, but I think they were definitely better than his Dean Ambrose days when he was in CZW and those other independents. He used to pull some crazy ass promos there. I suggest people that haven't watched them to go find them on YouTube. Just write John Moxley promos indies, and you'll see them. You'll probably see them all. I think he had lost it he still had it as the Shield, because at one point at the beginning of the Shield, he was kind of the leader and he was the one with the mic most of the time. But then as the singles stuff came, he lost a bit of that. He still had a bit in him, but it felt like he was
still the lunatic,
controlled.
But it was never
controlled. Exactly. So and now he's really got that freedom, and with the practice of being there 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And now he's just getting better and better at it. It's like coming back to him full spin, and it's like coming easily for him. And I don't know if it has anything to do with his head being clear in the last year, but you also see that different crispiness into his promos. And I'm definitely enjoying Mox promos in the last few months. What else? Rouge, which was right after finally signing a permanent deal with AEW, because he was on an appearance basis against Johnny Hungy. That was a good match. I'm not John Silver's biggest fan, but I enjoyed the match. I just don't know if he could main event if he's main event caliber for a national TV.
I just want to see more of him wrestling, because I kind of keep forgetting how good he is in the ring. Because every time you do see a match with Silver, it's fucking fantastic. The only problem is you see him maybe wrestle, unless, I don't know, he wrestles on Darker Elevation, then I don't know. But you see him really wrestle on TV maybe like once or twice a month. If that,
very rare,
so very.
You see him a lot on Being the Elite when it was on every week.
Right.
I think
that's gone now. So
yeah, you do see him. I think you did see him a lot with his tag team partner, Alex Reynolds.
Alex Reynolds.
Yeah. I think that's where you saw them mostly.
We got an Alberta fan over here.
What's up, Alberta? How's it going?
Hello. Thank you for tuning on in.
Yeah, I think
he also did technically have a question.
Oh, okay. Is Saraya cleared for matches, or will she be a manager till 2023? From what we know, she definitely signed a lucrative contract. I'm not sure if there was mentioned the number of years, but I remember like the number being high. I wouldn't see them paying her that much to not wrestle. Like, she would have to be an important piece of storytelling, or she would have to be like a GM type of thing. For her, I don't think they'll give her that money. They would have gave her that money for her not to wrestle. I think they're just waiting.
Well, how
for the
much
right
is she
time.
getting?
Oh, I heard it was
we know?
over seven digits.
Oh shit!
Like in the low, in the million lows.
Okay,
that's what I heard. So.
Yes, and I think he's probably asking because of Britt Baker saying that the doctor said she's not able to wrestle. Obviously, Britt Baker's not going to know that. She's just kind of trolling her. I don't know. I mean, we don't really have a definitive answer per se, but I think you still sign her even if she can't wrestle. That's a big draw. That's a big name draw right there. And, even if she can do, I don't know, a few punches here or there, kicks here or there, but I don't know if she's.
I think it's definitely a good draw right now. It's going to help people. It's going to put eyes on the product. But I'm afraid that if she doesn't wrestle, it could die out very fast.
Yeah, you're not going to pay someone $1 or $2 million to just stand there and talk on the mic every now and then.
Because I think they're just going to do it. They're going to try to do it the right way and wait for the right moment to.
Well, I think they are doing that. I think we're probably, if she is able to wrestle, we very might well see the Britt versus Saraya, though. Right?
I think that's what they're working
kind
for.
of alluding to. That's what they're working for. So,
because listen, the first week she went in the ring, and everybody left the ring, and there was no mingling there. The second week was the lumberjack match. She wasn't a lumberjack. She went to commentary. So they're making it seem like she can't be around any physicality. Now this week, or next week, they announced it actually, that she will be in the corner of, what's her name? I think it's...
Tony Storm, no?
Yeah, I think it's... she's going to be in the corner of Tony Storm, and then the Brit's going to be in the corner of Jamie Hayter, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to have them around the... So I think they're working towards... something, and then maybe, because if I would be booking it, I would do it like that. I would keep her people thinking that she can't wrestle, and then slowly getting her closer to that, and then once she punches somebody, there's going to be a huge pop. So I'm moving my hands a bit too much.
It's okay. It's normal.
But yeah, I think that would be the way to do it for Saraya, because if you keep the mystery going. She's staying away. They don't want her to get close to physicality, and then all of a sudden she just whacks somebody.
When she does, the crowd's gonna pop.
Yeah. So I think that's. I don't think we'll. Well, listen. Maybe it won't be for Full Gear. I don't think. So.
Well, when's Full Gear? November, no?
November, yeah. So I think it would have to go for Revolution in February. If there is going to be a match, Britt Saraya. So maybe she gets involved physically for the first time at full gear, and then they build up those 2-3 months of build up for that match with the Brit. I think going back and forth like 2.5 months, which is what 2.5 months is 10 weeks. I think 8 to 10 weeks of promos going back and forth between Brit and Saraya can be gold.
Yeah.
So Thomas also did have this message regarding Bray Wyatt. Apparently, he was seen near Philly at a car rental place. Didn't hear that, but I mean, it's very possible. And apparently, Mike Tyson might be there for DX25, which will be on Raw.
Yeah, and they're all going to be there except obviously Daddy Ass.
Daddy Ass, man.
Yeah. So, so for that, I think they'll maybe. Knowing Triple H and Shawn Michaels, but more Triple H for this, maybe he will be alluded to.
Maybe he could try and get him to. Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't he there at he was there at the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Oh, it's
so
true.
It could very well be I know that was the early stages of AEW, and I don't think Daddy Ass even had a match yet.
No.
He
was only known as a coach back then, yeah.
It didn't even start. Didn't the AEW not even start before that? It was just announced.
When did
it was announced in January?
Oh.
Just check the year
I'm
that
just
DX
gonna
was
check
inducted.
the year. Yeah.
Because it was January.
You guys don't have to win.
January 2019 is when they announced AEW, and I think they signed him in that spring.
And their first show was in May.
2019. Oh,
so WrestleMania 2019.
Yeah. So it was before the first AEW show.
Yeah, they had announced the company, but they hadn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But hey, it could work out a deal. But I don't know the way it's since Tony Khan says it's a bit cold now in between them. So I don't know if they could work out a deal to have him there.
I know,
but I'm
sure definitely
wouldn't
be in the promos though. He definitely wouldn't be in the promos. They definitely wouldn't go that far. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was Rampage. And that's it. And SmackDown. So now Raw. We're continuing off with this whole Judgment Day promo with Finn, with AJ, which ended up being after the promo was a match with Finn and Damian Priest versus Ray and AJ. They're definitely going with this Finn AJ storyline. They're definitely continuing with that. With at the same time Finn having a match with Edge at Extreme Rules. So, like, where are they going with this? Does he know where he's going with this, or is it like multiple plan A's and plan B's here for just in case shit doesn't work?
Yeah, Damian is facing Edge, right?
No,
is that
Finn
what it
is facing Edge. That's why I'm saying it's weird
Edge.
Because now you have Finn and two rivalries going on because Edge said,
well, unless AJ goes to the Judgment Day and ends up actually joining the Judgment Day and helps Finn win and knocks out Edge. I mean, that would clear up the whole two different rivalry things there. Right.
So, yeah. And I think AJ has been a bit stale recently. Not his fault at all.
Well, he hasn't been doing anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he's been doing the shit with the Judgment Day before. And then I can't even recall what he did before that.
Yeah. So he was with Omos.
The Miz, wasn't it? Oh, well, Omos, exactly. Yeah.
So, and I like heel AJ. So, if that's what we're doing, I mean, I'm gonna give it a chance. But I would really like AJ to fuck over Finn here. Like maybe make it look like he's gonna join, but not join. But I think after you saying that, it does make sense to have him turn on Edge and join the Judgment Day and cost Edge.
They really haven't been doing anything at all with AJ. So I at least, and this would at least do something good for the Judgment Day. Poor Rhea can't, hold everything down.
No,
I
think AJ can carry that for a while. Yeah.
And AJ can definitely carry that for a while. I heard Beth is coming back at Extreme Rules. What would she do though?
Oh, for Edge. Okay, because we did think that there was going to be eventually a tag team match or a mixed tag team match between Rhea and Finn, or Rhea and Damian Priest versus Edge and Beth, and that didn't happen.
Right.
So maybe now Beth is there in the corner to help keep Rhea in check. That could be.
Oh, okay.
possibility
That
there.
could be a thing. I mean, I don't know how interested I'd be in that, but that's very possible.
Well, I'm definitely not interested in a match between Beth and Rhea, because I think that would hurt Rhea more than anything. But I'm okay with her being there in the corner to try to keep Rhea in check. She is the Glamazon, so
Right.
she has the credibility to protect Edge there. This next match, I feel so bad for Mustafa Ali, man, because they're trying. I can't say they're not trying.
They
But
are
nothing's-
trying, though. He has a whole new look on top of
Yeah.
it, too. So, they're doing something with him, but he still gets.
And he put on a great match with Bobby.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now he's going to disappear for another 2 weeks, and then we're going to find another match he can have. And now he's being, like I said last week, it feels like he's just part of the next guy to in Bobby's path to beating everybody and re-putting the prestige in the United States Championship. So I felt a bit bad for Mustafa, because he's good and he's not bad on the mic either. He's got charisma. He puts on great matches, but there's no liftoff there. There's no liftoff. What's your? I'm interested in your opinion on Mustafa Ali, Jeff.
I think he's a good enough worker in the ring. I mean, he's. I don't think he has it to really
There's
be
something
a big
missing
star.
there, huh?
So, yeah, so putting him with Bobby maybe is a good way to get him over. Because maybe he can get that rub when he's facing Bobby Lashley. So let's hope, because I think there was hope for him when was it Retribution, that he was the leader of Retribution, and that failed.
Yeah, they dropped.
Yeah,
it with
but
him.
we saw what he can at least do on the mic.
Yeah.
So there was promise there, but I don't know. I think they just need to repackage him, because what is he kind of built as now?
He's kind of a feel-good baby face, where they try to create sympathy for him, but I don't know. Maybe he needs that.
Then
heel
again,
turn.
he's their guy that gets over when they go to the Middle East.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia, because he's over like crazy over there. So.
Well, that's Mansoor, though.
No, even him.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I think they both get pretty good reactions there in the Middle East.
So maybe
I don't know if
that's a good reason why they keep him around. Maybe
I don't know if he's too down with the whole Saudi Arabia thing, because I know he's more.
No, that's it. It's Mansoor who's a Saudi Arabian, though.
No. Yes, Mansoor he's Saudi Arabian, but I mean, it's because I don't know if Mustafa Ali is too. On the side of Saudi Arabia, if I may well put it that way.
I remember him commenting about it, though,
because he seems like his Twitter account actually seems like he's pretty progressive. So I don't know if he would be down with all those Saudi Arabia things. But I know he's definitely over in the Arabic world. That's for sure.
Yeah, because there wasn't didn't he cut a promo in Arabic one of their shows? I don't know if it was a Crown Jewel show. He cut a promo in the middle of the ring.
I don't know if it was Crown Jewel or if it was a video package before Crown Jewel or something, but I remember.
Yeah, it was one of those shows leading up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him doing that, but yeah, I felt bad for him, because I think we could get more from him. Try to make him heel like you were trying to do at Retribution, but don't have him with nobody. Just have him do the promos and like turn on somebody, see where we can go. Maybe being fed up with being the good guy, but nobody backs him, so he. Kind of that storyline where, I was behind you guys let me down. They were about to fire me. You guys didn't give a shit about me type of promos. Maybe that can get him more over than he is, but I'm a bit sad for him, if you can put it that way. Seth Rollins promo. This guy just backs it up every time.
Every time.
It's incredible how he's overlooked. I mean, not overlooked.
He's not overlooked.
No, he's not overlooked. But underrated is also not the correct term here. But people just just don't give him the credit he deserves. There we go. That's
I don't think that's fair either, though. Who's not giving him the credit that they deserve?
Because
no
he should
wrestling
be champion
fan
and he's not.
I think especially after the last year of putting banger after banger, getting people over and.
But you're on that whole Roman reign, pardon the pun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What are you gonna do with that? Like, and I think they're gonna slowly build to that once more. I think Seth might actually beat Roman for when they de-unify the championships. Seth might beat Roman for the Raw, and maybe we got Karrion for the SmackDown. And then so Roman could hopefully face The Rock at Mania for no title.
I know that I definitely Triple H absolutely loves Seth Rollins. So he's one of his first guys that he said was going to be a top star. So does Triple H want to keep him in the waiting area for being the guy that he's gonna put over when it's time to beat Roman? So, and
he's a professional too, though. So Seth is not like you know what I mean? Like, it's Seth and KO are very similar in the sense that you put them with anything and they'll go with it and they'll make it the best that they can make it. So and they're also very professional. Very professional. They're not going to be angry. You know what I mean? Like, they're both getting paid, I imagine, handsomely. We know KO is getting paid really well. Mm-hmm. So I don't, and they trust, if anything, they trust Triple H. So I don't see Triple H needing to force feed a title to them right away. They trust Triple H's process, and eventually you'll get there. In the meantime, guys, just make my product look good. So I think just those three together, they have so much faith and trust in each other. They're just like, fine, give me whatever. We still got Seth and Cody. That's still got to change too, right? So depending on when Cody comes back.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. And you just made me think about it. I think they have those three, especially those three, KO, Sammy, and Seth, have the confidence in themselves that they can get over with whatever is given to them. So when the timer's right, he's gonna know how to get over with it. So
plus, he's an indie guy, so he knows that at heart he's an indie guy, so he knows that he's gonna want to try his best to stay over as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the same way with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're indie guys, so they know that when you get that opportunity at the big stage, you're not gonna want to try to screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that it feels like with Seth Rollins, there's something missing on his part, but there's something missing that the company that he's been champion. It's not like he hasn't been, Right. But I think maybe they stuck with the belt too long on Roman.
I think that's a Vince thing, though. Well, obviously it was a Vince thing.
Well, now it's a hot potato for Triple H to deal with.
Yeah, that's it. Because I think it would have elevated Roman even more if he would have lost the belt and then regained it. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
That he's this angry, pissed off, tribal chief, and then he regains it somewhat later on. That would have just helped them out. It would have helped Seth out, and Roman.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, it would have helped both of them out instead of now you're hurting one to help the other.
Because really, what does it do to having Roman with two belts for almost 2 years now?
Yeah.
Has it really helped them out that much?
No, I think after a certain point, well, especially now when it's hit the 2-year mark, I think there's so much you can get from that. That after 2 years now, I think you've reached the pinnacle of that reign. And until they're still they're still probably the most over faction in WWE. So it's really hard, man.
Yeah,
the crowd is really behind them. The crowd is really behind them. Everything they do, they eat it up. They're the honorary use. As soon as he threw him that T-shirt, it was they were leaving like hotcakes. Those T-shirts from the WWE shop. So that was there's the bloodline is definitely still over. But will they lose any of that momentum if you take the belt away from Roman? That's the question that should be answered here that we don't know. I want your guys' opinion on Saturday's Fight Pit with Cormier as the referee there.
I think that's going to be match of the night. No, it's on Extreme Rules.
Oh, it's on Extreme Rules.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, it's on Extreme Rules.
I don't watch WWE, sorry.
Yeah, and then Cormier doing the video package there. There's a lot of things with this though, right? Because there's also rumors that they're gonna do a Brock Cormier thing for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I've heard those.
Okay.
I've heard this as a rumor because they've had beef in the past or whatever, so they're also working off that.
Yeah.
But if they do that, then I just don't get what happens here, because this is the last match between Riddle and Seth. Seth won the first one. Do we give this to Riddle? Seth doesn't necessarily need the win. But then
Riddle
if Brock comes back,
Riddle is the MMA fighter, the mixed martial artist. So
that's it.
It feels
It would
right
just
to have
make
him get
sense.
over here. Yeah.
Right.
But do we get the return of Brock Lesnar to come and like do something to Cormier so they could build
or maybe
up for
after the match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
maybe after the match or
especially
something, he just comes out.
Especially if they use if they play that heat that they had back then, like heat. It was in the inside the octagon altercation with them a few years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
If they play off of that, that could be something pretty interesting. You know? Could be pretty good.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be interesting because I would be down to seeing where they can go with this. Daniel Cormier is a wrestling fan since he's a kid. He's always mentioned of how after his career in mixed martial arts was over, that he would be open to a wrestling career or working in the wrestling industry, in the professional wrestling industry. So there's a door opening for him there. We definitely know that Brock would have to go back as being a heel here. So if this program with Cormier would be
not necessarily.
I think Cormier would be the face
though.
here.
Cormier would be the face, but he could still be his goofy self, like the cocky goofiness or whatever.
Well, yeah, these definitely has to be cocky.
That doesn't make him a heel anymore, then.
Yeah, because he's trying to get laughs there from people.
If he has that goofy, that's it. He's not a heel anymore.
But he could just be. Yeah, but he could just be that cocky, goofy, like, I'm gonna beat you. Like, well, what are you gonna do, Cormier? What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's probably gonna be another fight pit, if anything they do at Crown Jewel, right? If these two guys go at it, it most likely will be another octagon-based kind of whatever match.
Because he has shaven the beard, so Cowboy Brock is gone.
Oh,
so now, yeah.
How do you know he's shaving the beard? So his current Instagram.
I saw a picture of him in Saskatchewan, carrying hay or something, and he shaved the beard. He still has the little ponytail on the back of his head, but he has shaven the beard, so he is preparing for that the Beast to be back. I think.
Okay, maybe Cowboy Brock is gone. Okay.
Yeah, and I think the Beast would be the right person to face Cormier. If you want to put Cormier over like that, you got to have the guy that wants to absolutely destroy him, come and interfere, not interfere, but sucker punch him or come by the back, attack them by the back, things like that, to really create that sympathy for Cormier and the build up for a match. I think a fight pit would be a good idea here. Maybe not as a first match though. See how the chemistry is in the ring, because you have to be pretty good to put together these type of fight pit matches. Like,
well, I've never seen any of them in NXT. Does it work just like an MMA style kind of thing, or it's just really?
It depends who you have in it. Like, they've done it before with who was it with Ken Shamrock? It didn't look good. Was it Owen Hart?
Oh, that pit, that thing that they had in the ring there looked like they were inside a cage. Yeah.
That didn't work out well. The most recent one they did, I absolutely loved it, but it was two guys that I think can carry that in the ring, which was Matt Riddle and
Tommaso.
No, and what's his name? The guy who lost the teeth.
Look at you throwing out names.
Thatcher.
Oh,
that guy in NXT. His name is something Thatcher. He's like known for his shoot wrestling. And
Timothy
Thatcher. That's it. Timothy Thatcher. Exactly. So they had, and they're both mixed martial artists. So they made it believable, and it was actually good. It seemed like a real fight. So that's if I don't know if it's going to be as good with Seth Rollins. I trust Seth Rollins in his performance, but will it be good enough to make it look believable? Because that's what you want in a fight pit match. It's got to be believable. So I don't know if that will work out, but I think Cormier and Brock as a rubber match or as a grudge match, so meaning the second or third match, maybe would be good to settle the score here in a fight pit. But I'd like to see them first in a normal match. See if he can how Daniel Cormier is a big guy too, man. Like, can he support? Can he take bumps? Can he give moves?
Well, I mean, I think he's still fine though.
Anybody?
He has an amateur wrestling background.
Well, yeah, he's an amateur wrestling background, and I think he still competes in jiu-jitsu. I think.
Yeah, and he didn't get injured. It's not like he retired from injury or anything like that. So I think he's fine.
He's always training with American Top Team and Khabib.
Yeah, he's always there. You always see on Instagram with videos. Yeah, at workouts and everything. So he's still there. It's just he's old. Also, I think he's over 40, if I'm not mistaken. In his early 40s.
Yeah.
So it's just that fraction of a second you lose in the octagon can be fatal for you. So you don't want to take that chance. Also, so in a more controlled environment, I think he could still pull it off. Definitely. So I'm interested in this fight pit match with Seth Rollins to see Daniel Cormier in the WWE ring and to see what they're going to do with him. So I'm down with that. What else on Raw? Braun versus Gable. I just want to say one thing about Gable.
Fucking give this Gable guy more title, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe not a title, but give him something that means something, and not just a comedy, a comedy pitch or a comedy storylines. Even that.
I mean, he's doing good with it, but still,
yeah. He is taking the ball and running with it, but he deserves more than that. This match was impressive. German suplexing Braun like that, and the way he does it, right? See, he does it like a deadlift. So he picks you up from the floor and then holds you and then throws you. And for him to do that with Braun,
that's a real German suplex.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the amateur wrestling German suplex done the real way. So that was impressive. I don't know. I there's something must be done. That he's good on the mic. He's good. He's got charisma. He's a hell of a worker. He deserves more than this. That's what I'm going to say.
That's what I'm saying, though. Book him for a championship. Give this man like the U.S. championship, or I don't know how you're going to beat. Like you could beat Lashley. You know what I mean? Like I feel.
I think Lashley would be a great opponent.
Great opponent for him. They're both. He has an amateur wrestling background too. No, or he's just MMA. Lashley.
No, he's
Lashley. A wrestler. Yeah.
Yep.
He's a wrestler, so that's a perfect fit, and I think that would be hella entertaining.
Yep.
And make Gable win. Lashley doesn't need the title. Gable, I think it would help elevate him tenfold. So
I think when you're done establishing the USA title the way back you want it to be established as a top belt, then at that point Lashley doesn't need it anymore, and then you could bring crazy baby face, because I think people can get behind Gable. You just need to give him a chance, and people will get behind him. So I think in kind of
a gimmick, maybe,
in kind of a slow turn, starting by creating sympathy, slowly separating from Otis, then having a few matches, singles, getting there, then getting that shot, and at winning the title at that moment, turning babyface. I think you can get a huge pop and a huge reaction, and people will be happy for Chad Gable here, or Shorty G, as people used to know him.
No, don't bring that up. Fuck.
Or
Shorty G, FKA, formerly known as Shorty G. Fuck.
That's it, and then that's basically Bianca Bailey contract signing wasn't a big thing, so we can finish off on Dynamite. Generally speaking,
well, I mean NXT, think? I guess only thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
probably
guys. I
worthwhile to mention. Didn't watch NXT either, but I did at least catch it a bit just to notice the change.
Yeah, the brand change,
the logo, the brand change, and all that. I know no one in NXT. I tried watching it a little bit, and I watched the main event. The the deadly.
Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly versus. Oh my God! Of the Brutes.
Oh, the Brawling Brutes were there. It's true. I had seen them
Brutes.
promoted the Brawling Brutes. So it was Ridge and Butch.
Yeah,
that were there. Okay.
Yeah, and that was a really good match. And then, but of course, Imperium came in to interfere for their match at Extreme Rules.
Okay, so that made it a bit interesting for people that follow NXT. So you got two former teams, NXT teams. Well, not NXT teams because Butch and Ridge weren't a team in NXT.
UK.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. And regular NXT.
Former NXT stars there, maybe involved in a kind of storyline with Pretty Deadly. I think works out. It gives the people watching that know them.
Justin, please put your arm down. Your body odor is coming through the camera. This is getting to me. Don't lift your arm like that anymore, please.
Smell it all.
So yeah,
Dynamite. 3-year
MJF
anniversary of Dynamite.
Yeah, 3rd year anniversary. Starts off with MJF, and I didn't see no ring rust from MJF there
at all. No, I thought like that was
125 days or something that he hadn't wrestled.
Yeah,
that Excalibur said. Yeah,
I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good as that match that he put on against. Wasn't CM Punk, but he was first. He was like I'm saying this is MJF's probably 2nd or 3rd best match.
Darby
he's put on.
Oh yeah, with Darby, the match you
that's it. So
I
still consider Darby the first, and this with Yuta is probably 2nd because this was they fucking worked perfectly. I didn't think they would work well together, but they fucking
they did. And if they
it goes to show that he's not just good on the mic. He can back it up in the ring too. You know,
and he tells the story legitimately. Yeah.
I think I really like this match because it was a way to kind of detract away from the promos because it seems like all he was known for as of late was just giving really good promos, and his matches were all right. This one kind of made people maybe look at him in a different way.
I like the clean finish. Good match. I like the clean finish, submission. You make him look strong. Yuta's known to be one of their best technical wrestlers or like wrestlers. He was a pure ROH pure champion. So it's good for RJF. My God. It's good for MJF's character here.
His cousin.
And,
Robert Jacob Freeman. You know, like,
that sounds like his cousin, actually. But yeah, it makes him look strong. It's a perfect build-up for his match or his future AEW chip-in cash-in, I mean. So that was that's kind of I enjoyed it. It was a good match, and it wasn't it was the perfect amount of time. It didn't go on too long. You didn't feel it was long, and it wasn't like it wasn't over quickly. So I enjoyed that. Then after you got the firm came out, and what was that? You guys explain me that one. So why was MJF not happy that the guy from the firm came out to he's supposed to be?
I think he's turning face though. Yeah, but that's it. I think that's him slowly maybe wanting to turn face because they explained that him and Yuta have fought all over the world, so there is a respect there. Kind of thing, right? So I don't know if it's him turning face or just look, I respect the guy, I beat him, kind of thing. But aside from
he could still be heel. He could still be heel and then have that respect in the ring. Mm-hmm. You know, that I don't have a problem. I don't really have a problem with that. Him being mad. Maybe it's also a way for him to branch away from the firm because it was never really official that he was with them.
It's supposed to be only. It's supposed to be only a faction on retainer, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
but he always brings them out, though. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, you can't come get me, Yuta. Look at Daddy Ass Boys here, gonna help me out.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
What a swerve! What a swerve would this be? Is that when CM Punk comes back, MJF is the face and CM Punk is the heel.
Punk comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be that would be a swerve.
That would be funny. That would definitely be a swerve.
my thinking of MJF is that guy's the biggest piece of shit in the world, the biggest asshole in the world. I think that's what he's. No, but I mean,
That's what he's good
that's what
at.
he's trying to sell. That's what he's trying to
Yeah,
sell.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
and then you're pissed off that they came and help you. You're not supposed to give a fuck. You're supposed to just care if you came out on top or not. That's your number
Right.
one. Your number one thing. I understand.
I think it was more because I didn't tell you. I think it was more like I didn't tell
Yeah.
you to come out. Why are you disobeying me? Maybe.
Okay, that's that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know?
putting it in that context makes me understand it a bit more. Maybe it was like that.
He's like, I didn't tell you to come out. What are you doing? You know, so
Yeah. Okay, that's more of like, yeah, I'm the boss. I tell you when to come out, and unless I tell you, stay in the back, and then you shut your mouth. That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it a different way now. All right. Thanks for that moment of clarity, guys. What else did we have on on Dynamite? The women's trios match. This is okay. I guess I don't have
women's trios match.
Yeah, which was
That's the Saraya Lumberjack thing? Wasn't that a tag match?
Oh, that was last week. No, the trios match was Jamie Hayter. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too.
Because I don't remember every single person in there.
That's fine. Was it worthwhile though?
It was Tony Storm, Athena, Will Nightingale against Jamie Hayter, Serena Deeb, and Penelope Ford.
That's it. That's exactly it. And then Nottingale came out with the pin, which was the intention was to make her look strong to prepare for her match against Jade Cargill.
Fortunately, her promo wasn't that strong.
No, that was after, right? Yes, that was after
that was
backstage
after.
promo. Yeah.
You're gonna be 38-1, and I'm the one. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Maybe you got to work. You got to go attend more promo classes there. Because she did look strong during that match, though. She pulled out.
She's a good wrestler, though. She's a really good wrestler. A few times I've seen her.
Yeah,
for someone busters. Go ahead.
Yeah, for someone who started out mainly wrestling on Dark, and she found her way onto the main show.
Mm-hmm.
I give her props for that big time.
Yep, true that. That's so true, because we didn't know her. Then all of a sudden, she was only wrestling week in, week out on Dark, and then they would throw her a little bone on Dynamite or Rampage, and every time she takes it and she runs with it. So far in matches, she's done it. This one, I think, she looks the strongest with all those spine busters and those moves she was doing. But I guess would have to see how they book this Jade Cargill match or title match for her. Because if it's like over and done, this could all that momentum could just be thrown in the trash if it's not done correctly against Jade Cargill.
I think it would be more of a cheating win, if anything. That
for Jade,
protects for Jade. Yeah. That at least helps protect Willow.
Yeah, I agree. And that would be, I think, would it be the first time we don't get a clean finish from Jade?
Yeah, it would be, because it looks like it's always every one of her wins is a clean finish. Yeah.
So maybe that would be the beginning of of them setting up that she could finally be beaten by somebody, because now she had to cheat to win. So
right.
Okay, that makes sense.
I still think Chris Statlander is the one to beat her, though.
Yeah, like you said last week, and I think that's a good pick if they do it right. Because she was getting over before the injury, so if they do it right, I think she could be a good one to take it away from Jade. I know they've been teasing what's her name, the one that's with Eddie Guerrero, with Vicky Guerrero there.
Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose.
Yeah, I know they've been teasing that the last few weeks of having Nyla Rose be the one to face Jade. I don't know how that could work. They're both heels, but whatever. This is AEW, and they've made it work before, so I'm not gonna shit on that. But I think Nyla can be the person, like credibility wise,
right,
to take it away. I don't know if it's the right business decision, like for her to be champion. Is she over enough to carry that title? But definitely in the credibility department, she definitely have the credibility to beat Jade. I think she's a powerhouse. She's okay. She's gotten better in the ring since her start. It seemed like she's working in the ring outside of TV. So I think that could work out, but we still don't know. We'll see. We'll see this weekend. Tomorrow from this match, Jade and Willow, of how they're going to book Jade, or is this the beginning of the end of the streak, or is it we're just going to continue and go 173-0? I don't know. I don't think they're going to go 173-0, but
no, I think that's overkill.
That'd be a bit of overkill there. Then we had another good match: Adam Page versus Rush. That was a good back and forth match. I always liked Rush. I know some people think he's not the most charismatic guy out there, and that they prefer his brother Dragon Lee. But I like Rush. I like El Toro Bianco, the White Bull. Adam Page. I know they wanted to make Adam Page look strong here because he is facing the champion. But I don't know. I'm starting to lose, not lose respect, but. I'm starting to think less of Adam Page here than I used to a few months ago.
I just think we don't care to see him as the champion for a second time. I just think is it because his first run wasn't all that great.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the backstage bullshit with CM Punk and the EVPs and whatever have you, I just don't think we necessarily care for the majority of the part. We like him in the ring. He's good. I just don't think we want to see him as champion again. I think I would rather just have Moxley keep it. Moxley MJF makes sense. I don't care to see an Adam Page versus MJF, shindig. So
he needs a win over MJF because then he lose like twice to him. So maybe down the line
Adam
he
Page
can get the belt off of MJF. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a fair point.
Maybe down the line, like give MJF maybe a little bit of a run with the belt, and have Adam Page take it away from him.
Yeah,
kind of get a win over.
I'm starting getting fed up of even his promos. Like I'm starting to get fed up of all he has to say is, why do we have to wait till why don't we just fight now?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same thing all the time. Yeah,
it's the same thing all the time. And then Moxley's like, I'm just gonna give you one warning. Don't push it.
Yeah, that's when he said you're a sweet kid. But and a lot of kids here seem like they could say anything with no repercussions. So I'll let you go on this one, and he just walks out of the ring. So at the same time, it was a jab at him and a jab at Sammy there. So but it was a good match with Rush. I don't know what they're gonna do with Rush now with this whole story with Andrade. I think eventually Andrade versus Rush would have been a good rivalry. I think they could have pulled that out, but now we don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And and then it was the main event, Chris Jericho.
Well, I mean, you have Darby and Jay Lethal.
Sorry, guys. It's true. I missed there like a good half an hour because I had to go run an errand. Sorry. Yes, that's true. You're completely right. So talk to me about what was that you said? What would happen there? Jay Lethal and
Darby. Yeah.
Jay Lethal and Darby was a fun match. I guess it was fine. I don't think anything overly extraordinary happened.
Two good workers.
But it
was good.
Two good workers. It was good.
Match.
Like Darby won with his little Last Supper, I think it's called. And that was that. I don't think there was any storyline building there of any kind. So, but Wardlow and Brian Cage did not expect this match to be as good.
Oh my God, yes, I was excited to see it and I didn't get a chance to see it. Yes,
you definitely have to give that a watch.
It's good, yeah.
It was fun.
Brian Cage is very underrated, man.
I love Brian Cage.
Size and he can move like that. I was happy to see him back in AEW, and I was happy to see him have Wardlow work a little bit more than just 5 minutes. Oh, good, he's gone. It's just the All-Stars out here. The hell with you. But anyways, it was a really good match. We had a good little show last.
So did we finally get to see Wardlow actually work a match?
Yeah, because Brian Cage is a guy like he could work. He's a guy his size that can move around really well in the ring. He even overpowered Wardlow a couple of times. Like he
That's a
showed
couple times, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
his
okay,
strength.
yeah, all right.
Like that thing that Brian Cage does when he grabs the guy and he's like curling
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, he did that to Wardlow. So it was
okay. So they didn't make him look weak
Yeah.
here. I thought there was.
no.
I thought they were
No,
gonna
that
make him
was
look
happy.
weak.
I
Here.
worried. I was a
Mhm.
little worried about this too when it was announced. Like, okay, here we go, powerbomb bullshit, and then it's Brian Cage gonna look like shit. But no, he had a good, solid match. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that because that's what we were asking from Wardlow for the past few weeks. Is give him give him a good match in the ring with a good guy that can carry both. Well, doesn't need to carry both of them, but that can go with him in the ring. That's credible. Because after you made him look so strong and squashing all these guys, beating up these people in a few seconds, you needed somebody that was credible that could go with him. And I think Brian Cage was the guy that can go with him. And if they really pulled that through and booked it right, it was what? It wasn't a short match, was it?
That was about maybe 6-7 minutes.
Okay, that's good to work.
All right,
for
two
TV,
big guys,
that's
for
good to work
TV,
with.
yeah.
For
Yeah,
TV
for TV
and
it was
two big guys like that, that's good to work with. That's enough time to get something done. And if you guys enjoyed it, that means it worked. So now
Khan too also gave it a mention. I mean, I know he's obviously going to give all his matches whatever, but he also gave it a mention that he really enjoyed the match too. So I think him being just a fan in general too might have actually it was good. I was surprised. I just thought it was going to be a squash, but at the same time I was like, you're bringing him back, like yeah,
it would have really buried him.
Well, he's part of ROH. So.
Yeah, he is part of ROH. He was at their last pay-per-view, but they don't do anything. They don't do anything else but pay-per-views. So we hadn't seen him since Death.
February.
Death Before Dishonor.
Death
April.
Before Dishonor, exactly. So we haven't seen him since then. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, you don't want to do. There's opportunities there. You have some matches with some fucking idiots or that don't make any sense in your company. But you have this guy that's under your payroll. Okay, maybe signed to ROH, not AEW, but he's under your payroll, and you're not doing anything with him. So at least now you did something with him. You brought him into a credible match with Wardlow, and hopefully it's not the last time we see Brian Cage in AEW. Hopefully there's more for him. And now that Tony Khan maybe saw this match and enjoyed it, like JLB said. And maybe this opens the door for him to be seen on national television just a bit more. And it's also good for ROH.
I don't think so, though. I don't think he's going to throw him away. I think he does see the potential. And I honestly think he's just going to be an ROH guy. When ROH does get his title thing, title TV deal, I think also that's why he was like, I don't know why Tony Khan wasn't using him for a year. Maybe he just didn't know what to do with him. But this Brian Cage being there helped Wardlow tenfold as well. So it made both superstars look amazing. It made people remember who Brian Cage was. And I think this is maybe one of Tony's smartest booking with bigger guys.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Like they are. So
I think it makes sense. And the better you make Cage look, the better he's going to be for you in ROH. If you make him look like a big star on AEW and that he's a good worker and he's a big star and he's important on AEW television, when you bring him on ROH, he just has that credibility that makes ROH just more valuable. So that only can work out well for all parties involved. So I think he saw that. I hope he saw that, and hopefully we'll be seeing more of Brian Cage. And maybe this rivalry isn't over. But was it a clean pin?
Oh, he had 4 power bombs.
Yeah.
No distractions, no nothing.
No, okay. He came to the ring with Prince Nana. That was like from ROH. He's a part of that faction there.
Yeah.
I think it's because Tully's not there anymore. So I think Prince Nana is kind of a part of that faction. So he was in the corner of Brian Cage. But no, it's no was straightforward.
Okay, so
nothing fancy, but
so
it was straightforward. But it was enjoyable. Very good.
okay, so if you finish with a
I
clean
don't
pin
think they're
and
continuing it.
yeah, exactly,
It's just more, but I think it does
4
at
power bombs,
least.
a clean pin. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you can
Well,
make it credible. For him to
I
come
wouldn't,
back.
I wouldn't mind seeing Brian Cage as TNT champion, especially if Wardlow is going to have a run with the belt eventually or go
Mhm.
towards that.
Yep.
I think a guy to take the belt off of Wardlow. I think Brian Cage would be good, and it doesn't mean that just because he's with ROH he can't be in AEW. I mean, look,
Right.
Jericho's ROH women, world champion. So
Right.
True. True. The Ocho.
yeah.
The Ocho.
And that's a great segue to go into the main event because we had the Ocho with Sammy Guevara versus Bryan Danielson
Segway man over here.
and Daniel Garcia, which, like I said before, when we were talking about Sammy Guevara, I think this match was maybe it was because I was so impressed with it because it was more than I expected. So maybe that's why I was so impressed with the match. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the storytelling of the match. I really enjoyed what they did with the spots where they were placed in the match. Daniel Garcia.
Oh, by the way,
Yep.
sorry, just so you know too, the reason why they're fighting Gates of Agony. Did I say that right? I feel like I didn't say that right. Gates of Agony.
Yeah,
because they interfered right after Wardlow won, and then that's when FTR came out and so on. So there was no actual thing there. So just so you know, since you didn't watch it there.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so there was the people did show up after, but it was after the pin. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I really enjoyed even the continuing of the Daniel Garcia's Chris Jericho story there, back and forth. I enjoyed it.
I mean, Jack Swagger still likes the hat. That was fucking hilarious with the promo. I like this hat. I was like, God damn it. Fucking Jack Swagger.
Sports entertainment. I love Mike Menard. The
Magic Mike Menard. Yeah,
Magic Mike Menard and no Magic Hands. Yeah, that's a
Daddy. Daddy Magic.
Cool,
I
cool
think.
hand.
No.
Oh no, that's right.
Cool hand, Angelo Parker.
And Daddy
Magic,
Mike Menard, exactly. Cool hands, Angelo Parker. That's it. With but Mike Menard with his sports entertainment, his accent is just great. So yeah, I enjoyed this match. What did you guys think as a main event? I think this was placed right on the card.
It was placed right. It made sense for Sammy to get the win, and Jericho not pin any of them. You have Jericho going to be facing Bryan.
Yeah.
Next week, so you don't want to foretell any kind of story there. And obviously Jericho and Garcia are probably going to have a match as well, so you wouldn't want Jericho to get any kind of pin. But this does then lead to the story of the comeback kids, Bryan and Garcia, kind of trying to get one up on the sports entertainers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Daniel Garcia versus Sammy Guevara eventually can work. The contrasting
styles.
Contrasting, yeah, styles.
Yeah, contrasting styles there. With one being a technical, more of a technical wrestler, the other one being more of a high flyer, spot getter there, spot chaser. I think that can work. Obviously, Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson, I think will definitely do. Will definitely work out good for the ROH title. Bryan Danielson does not need this title off of, like I said last week, off of Chris Jericho. I think the only title Bryan Danielson can touch in AEW is the AEW World Heavyweight title. Anything other than that is just beneath him, I think, and he doesn't need it.
I think but I don't want him to win the ROH title in AEW, though. I would rather Daniel Bryan win the ROH title in ROH. So if you make
when they have a TV deal
or a TV deal, first episode of the TV deal, you have Daniel Bryan win. I think that's what would be cool. But let Jericho have it.
Yep.
Because Jericho, at the end of the day, if Tony Khan is trying to get a deal, nothing's set in stone yet. Hey, we have Chris Jericho as our ROH champion. Everyone's going to remember Jericho from wherever. I think having Jericho as the face of, what does he call it? He doesn't call it ROH, though.
Oh, it's true. Yes, he did make fun of it like that. I forgot what he said.
Beat up the announcer.
Yeah, because that's what I like that storyline where he wants to absolutely desecrate
Erase its history.
Yeah, ROH's history and what it is. So he goes, I'm going to beat every champion they've ever had. I'm going to punch or beat up any commentator they ever had, and ring announcer. That's when he punched the ring announcer there. So I like that storyline. Yeah. So have him face some ROH champions. I know, again, it's like 3 times in a row. I think I mentioned it last week, but that they go through a list of former ROH champions, and they never mention CM Punk. Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that. They've talked about everybody, even some that are not in the company, and they don't mention CM Punk. So I like that storyline of him going through past champions and wanting to ruin the legacy of ROH. I think that fits good for his character, and for like you just said, for him being champion does help in the credibility for you to get a TV deal. So it could go on for still a while. There's no rush in taking that belt away from and putting it on anybody else there. Maybe Daniel Garcia eventually, once they do get that TV deal. I think he would be a potential guy to maybe carry the ROH brand from there on after they get a TV deal. I think he can do that. He's good on the mic. He's getting better every week on the mic, and in the ring he's just very, very, very good, very sound. So
very sound. When was Bandito and Jericho was
last week?
When? That was the week last week.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, I'm sorry.
Which that was a sick match. Yeah, that was a sick match. Yeah.
And
that would basically.
By the way, he's not signed to AEW.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because
okay, so he's not signed. Okay, go ahead. You do it.
They had announced on social media after that he was signed, after that he was all elite, like they say, but it came out today or yesterday that he was offered a contract but hasn't yet accepted it. But at the same time, he did receive an offer for the WWE also. So, but they say
don't do it, Bandito. Don't.
Yeah. They still say he's leaning towards AEW, but it's just not done yet. They wanted to be clear that it wasn't. It's not a done deal yet. But Bandito is. I think Bandito is better than Rush. Well, at least in potential. Yeah. At least in potential, where they could go with Bandito, and Bandito put on. I think he earned that contract against that match in Chris Jericho. I know Jericho, like, honestly, outside of kayfabe, thinks that this was one of his funnest matches and one of his best matches. So I know he's had so many. So to look back at the ones he's had like a thousand matches ago, how good that one was. But as someone that just watched it, it was a good match, and I think there's something to be done here with Bandito in the long run.
That rope match, the rope spot right at the end. Well, first of all, his fucking holding him up for like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. Like what?
That was the first time I've seen that from him. And
I've seen that from. And then the whole top move there, where I think he was going to do a superplex or something, and then he turns it to another move. It was one of the last minute spots.
Was it a Spanish fly? Was it a Spanish fly?
It wasn't a Spanish fly. That was Sammy Guevara's all Spanish flyness. Spanish.
I saw Jeff smile there right away. Okay, but yeah, it was even the frog splash, like changing direction in midair so he could hit Jericho, because Jericho was a bit outside of the angle there, not in the middle. So that was impressive. I like Bandito. So he could go on. Maybe if anything happens with Andrade, we'll see. Maybe he could be that guy.
And he was only in ROH. This guy before
and AAA, right?
Probably Mexico. He definitely wrestled in Mexico for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a good overall. It was a good Dynamite. They've been maybe not the best one in the last month, but
maybe
still,
not. Maybe not third anniversary special.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So that's just kind of it. But it was fun. It was a fun Dynamite, and it keeps going with Rampage, along with Battle of the Belts there too. So
true.
We'll see if it at least continues no more backstage assaults happen.
And there's also something that for Big Red should be happy about this is next week. Next week, Rampage will be on
2
TSN.
hours.
They will
Hey,
show it
we'll be on TSN.
1 hour,
Hey.
1 hour
Recaps.
late. Yeah, 1 hour
1
late.
hour
So
late.
instead of being at 10, it will be at 11, but it will be
Why?
on TSN.
He'll
So-
be asleep,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He will be asleep.
but he'll be able to watch it on the TSN app the next day.
That's right.
So
That's
that
right.
works for him. That works for
Over
him.
here
There you
plugging TSN. Hey, sponsor.
go. Sponsor.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure for all our Canadian listening guys that I know it's been hard. People don't always deal with the TSN app, and sometimes you
Right.
want to watch it on TSN and it's never there. It is frustrating. It's happened to me before. So now this week it will be on 1 hour later at 11 p.m. So I don't know how they're gonna do that because it's filmed on the Thursday. So are people going to attend Rampage at the Coliseum in Toronto just for 1 hour on that day? On the
No,
Thursday
like we
when they're filming?
mentioned, they're probably going to do the elevation and dark there as well.
Oh, okay, it's true. It's true.
right?
You mentioned
Yeah.
That's right.
Because it doesn't make any sense. Or they'll just do a bunch of extra matches for something else that they'll, I don't know, put later or whatever.
Or
have you.
tryouts. They
Or
could have tryout
tryouts or
matches, yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Because it wouldn't make sense. Hey, guys, come here for an hour. You're $20 tickets. And is it technically, if you buy Wednesday, you're also buying Thursday? They're separate.
I don't know if I
right?
think there is package
If there's package deals, then
Yeah.
okay, it's separate. You can choose to just buy the Wednesday.
to just go.
'Cause I don't
to
know,
just
'cause-
go to one.
Yeah, because usually you're good with AEW Dynamite. You also get Rampage anyways. It's all done on Wednesday. So
Yeah,
guess
So
they
like
want to
the good-
squeeze every penny from us Canadians, So
the Grand Slam show was a almost 5 hour show. 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of Rampage, and you had
Right.
1 hour of Elevation. So the people apparently
Yeah.
it started apparently it started at 7:30 around, and finished close to midnight. So
damn.
yeah, that was a long show. I
Then
saw
again, I don't
maybe
know if I'd be down for that either.
it's a long show. And it's not.
a long
I
show.
know they did it. I know they've done it for WrestleManias, but this is not WrestleMania. So
Right.
when you're in the whole atmosphere, WrestleMania, bang, it's WrestleMania week.
Well, they do
you've
play
been
music though. They do play a lot of music because as we saw on Dynamite, they fucked that up. Because as we came back from commercial,
Yes,
they were
played
still
that
playing
song,
the
yeah.
music, and Taz even mentioned it. He's like, "Oh, the music guy is going crazy."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay." I'm like, and I felt happy. I'm like, "Well, at least the fans are getting some kind of entertainment, and not WWE where we're just fucking, sitting there just waiting." All right, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know.
I've been they've been playing that White Rabbit song during commercial breaks sometimes to fuck with people's heads on Raw and SmackDown.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what they do, but that's part of the storyline. But I'm excited for next week and see how AEW will be received in Canada.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and it's a big thing for us too as Canadian wrestling fans, because we're putting everything on Toronto's lap to take care of AEW the best they can, so they can come back as many times.
Two other places
To
on
make
top
it
of
worth
that,
it, to make it worth it for them to come back, or at least make it feel that it's worth it for them to come back. So Toronto, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, straight up. Don't fuck it up. I mean, they're generally good, though. I mean, I think there's a lot of AEW fans in Toronto. There's a lot of people probably coming from Ottawa, Montreal as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I feel like Toronto's got this in the bag. It's not the Air Canada Center.
No, it's the Rico, or is it still called? It's the Rico Coliseum, right? Or is it the Coca-Cola Coliseum? I feel like it's the Rico was the old name. I don't know for
Okay.
I have a feeling, but it's close to the old Maple Leafs Garden.
Okay.
It's around that area. I don't know exactly what the neighborhood is, but it's what, the 10,000. I think it's a 10,000 seat capacity. So I think with the hard cam side and the entrance and all that, I think it becomes like 7,000 or 8,000. So
yeah, they could definitely pack it that.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. I think they don't want to take a chance with Air Canada Center. Because the Canadians are playing Toronto on that same day. So
I don't think they would book the Air Canada Center anyways. That's too much.
It's especially as a first show, you don't know how it will be received.
It's like,
so you don't want to end up having half an
17,000?
arena.
That's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
17,000,
Wouldn't that be on Saturday?
The first match of the year is the 12th. against Toronto. Yeah, it's on Wednesday.
Yeah, they're having a
It'll be,
preseason game, but
Yeah, they have Saturday. They're playing Saturday against Ottawa, and then they're playing one last time. I think. I think it's today against Ottawa, and Saturday is the last match, something like that of preseason.
I think
and then
they're just finishing up. Yeah.
Their first match is on Wednesday against Toronto in Toronto. So that explains. So they're going to be competing. Yeah. So.
Oh, look at that! Ottawa's winning, making Montreal not win a fucking game yet.
It's okay. It's
I think it
preseason.
Okay, who cares?
It's
this is about wrestling now.
It's a swerve. It's a swerve.
Show.
It's a swerve.
It's a
But but yeah, so the Canadians and the Maple Leafs will be playing on that same night as Dynamite.
Mhm.
So I think there's enough people in Toronto to go to both shows. Obviously,
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. You're fine.
I'm just hoping that everything goes well with Dynamite and Rampage, so they could come to Montreal ASAP. That's my I would have liked to go. It's my weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I can't get away from the city because I have a lot of shit planned for that weekend. But definitely, if they come back, hopefully the next time is in Montreal. But if it's in Toronto again, I'll probably be going. So I won't let that opportunity pass me by twice. So so I'm very excited for AEW in Canada and how will that be received. And they better put on a good show so they're well received. So Tony Khan, book it, baby.
Well, we got Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy. That's finally ending, I guess, because we saw that whole shindig.
Yeah.
Not the greatest match there, but at least that puts that to an end. And whatever, fans are gonna pop for Christian like crazy. So
yeah,
you know,
he's gonna get a crazy reaction. I think Jericho's gonna get an insane reaction also.
For sure.
Yep.
So those people will definitely be singing.
Ethan Page,
Judas.
Yeah,
Judas.
Ethan Page. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ethan Page as well.
It's gonna
if
be
he
interesting.
ends up being-
It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, he should be on the show. I would be very disappointed in the bookers if they don't put him on the show. One way or another, have him. What they are having Orange Cassidy versus or is that a Battle of the Belts versus the Pac? I think that's a Battle of the Belts.
That's a Battle of the Belts.
So maybe you have Ethan Page interfere in that match and have him finally.
He wins. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally have him against Pac for the All Atlantic title in Toronto. I think that's a good way to finally put Ethan over and try to get the people behind him, or get him behind him as a credible wrestler and champion there in AEW. So I guess that's the rundown.
Yeah. So we're just not doing Extreme Rules. We're just gonna say fuck WWE.
Oh, you want to go to quick prediction?
I don't know. Just quick. I don't want to extend this any fucking longer either. But
all right, let's just go.
I'm just saying, it's fucking this Saturday. So
match by match, match by match.
Does anyone have the card?
Oh, let me put it out of here.
Okay. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
We didn't ask you to sing.
Listen, we didn't ask for the peanut gallery either. Okay, Calme-toi.
You're the one who has the peanuts on the peanuts.
I don't have it. Do you see any peanuts? Do you see any peanuts? No.
That's there.
No.
Why are you thinking about peanuts? Stop it.
It's all imagination.
Okay, so here we go. SmackDown Women's Championship: Liv versus Ronda Rousey. Yeah, just get.
No, if you want to go through with this fast, stop taking a long dramatic pause.
I think we're done with this.
Yeah, I don't think we're done with Liv though.
Ooh.
I still think they're gonna keep it on Liv. I think maybe Baszler is gonna fuck Rousey over.
Ooh,
she's gonna come in and set up a triple threat.
You, Jeff, who'd you put over on this?
I think I think Ronda's gonna have it, and it's gonna be the end of Liv because I don't see her sticking around for much longer.
It hasn't been working. They're trying to make her. More insane, and
they tried, and it just doesn't. It's not. It's. I don't feel like it's working.
I agree. I'm gonna go with Rondi.
Rondi.
Okay, let's go for the next one. Raw Women's Championship: Bianca versus Bayley. Ladder match. This could be a show stealer here.
I'd say Bailey takes it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And then you have Damage Control as all three champions, and it helps build Damage Control
Yep. And
even better.
And you could have Bianca back in the chase, where that she seems like she's more over in that position.
Well, she's just been champion for too long. It's like, okay, like you got to switch something up, either be heel or whatever,
and not doing anything drastic with her as champion. Like she didn't like make it like a crazy run. So yeah,
right.
Fight pit: Riddle versus Rollins with Daniel Cormier as special guest referee.
I'll say Riddle.
Because he lost the first one, I would be.
And it's his match.
Yeah.
But then Rollins beating him in his own match would be fucking crazy. But that means we get like maybe an extra match.
At one point, how many times? The only time you had Rollins win recently was that one against Riddle last time. He did lose three fights
Cody.
in a row against Cody. And it would put him over to win, like Seth Rollins winning a fight pitch in Riddle's type of match. But it was also bury Riddle there a bit, so I'll have to go with Riddle to make it. We're gonna see another match between Riddle and Rollins to see who's on top there. So I go with Riddle, you go with Riddle, and you said Rollins, right, Jeff?
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
High five on that kid, crazy. No, wrong way.
Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match.
Finn Balor's gonna win because his
Judgment Day,
Rhea and the Judgment Day is gonna interfere.
And Finn will finally make him say, "I quit."
Because that's the whole angle here. Is Edge says he never quit in anything in his life, so we finally putting Finn over as making.
I don't think this is gonna help Judgment Day go over anymore, though. I mean, unless I really want that AJ thing to happen. They're not doing anything with AJ. AJ joins Judgment Day. Styles clash on Edge, because it's all Extreme Rules matches, so there's no it's no DQ anyways.
Yep.
So just get AJ in there, and
the only way you can lose if you have to say I quit. So it's not even a tap out or anything. You have to say I quit. So I guess we have a unanimous decision here with all three of us going with Finn. Mm-hmm. Then we have Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match.
I think Karrion Kross is gonna. It only makes sense. He wins. Yeah. Back in the company, needs a big win to get over.
Wouldn't it be his first real match since he's back? I don't think he had a match. Yeah,
he's never had a match since he came back.
Since he's back, I mean.
No, that's it. Since he's came back, this is his first match.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is.
You might be right about that. Damn.
So I'll go with Karrion Kross also.
And I think this is where Karrion Kross as well, and I think this is where you're going to see the White Rabbit.
Yeah, very.
In some way, shape, or form. In some way, shape, or form.
Very well possible. I don't know. And maybe start the Bray Wyatt, Drew. Let me go back. Maybe this starts a Bray Wyatt versus Drew McIntyre rivalry, which I think
might be fun. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. The Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Can someone, before we give the predictions, can somebody explain me what a Donnybrook match is?
I think it's just a street fight.
A really, like a rough match, hard hitting. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay, all right. So just basically in a no disqualification match.
No, Justin. It's not someone that's named Donnie and his last name is Brooke.
It's a famous soccer player in England.
He's the ref. He's in the match. It's a Donnybrook match. He calls the shots.
It feels like a bad guy in Peaky Blinders. But okay, so the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium.
Someone has a favorite show.
I had never watched it, but I want to start. But I'm scared. I'm scared of watching shows 5 seasons deep. I just won't sleep for 5 days. So, but yeah, Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. Where are you guys going with?
The Brawling Brutes.
I feel like you got to give it to Imperium though. Like they kind of need a win too, more so than the Brawling Brutes.
This is the only one I have no clue who's gonna win this one. Who needs to win? I don't know. because they've both been doing good. Imperium's impressive. Brawling Brutes has been impressive, winning some big time matches recently.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with Brawling Brutes because I think they're making them look a bit stronger recently, and Imperium really is not an urgent look of wins because you have Gunther winning every time, so they're not in need of wins too much. So I'm gonna go with Brawling Brutes here. So Brawling Brutes and one, and he went with Imperium. Okay. Do we and I think that was that was it. That's it. That's the last one. I'm just surprised that it's true. There's no. I'm always get confused when you have no world title match on a pay-per-view.
You have no world. You don't have a tag.
Yeah, true.
You don't have a US.
You don't have Intercontinental.
You don't have an IC. You have no titles on the line aside from the women's.
Yeah, except for the women's. Yeah, they're all gimmick matches, Extreme Rules. And tomorrow, guys, before we go off, we have Gunther versus Sheamus, part 2. So tomorrow on SmackDown. So if you don't like WWE and you only can watch one match a week of WWE, this is the one to watch. Wink, wink, Jeff.
Yeah, before that.
All right, thank you so much before we fall asleep over here.
Hurry up with the links to the doobly-doos and all that shit. Come on.
Hey, so on that note, everybody, thank you so much for watching and supporting, as always, to the Ambrosias of the world and the Tomins of, I believe his name is Tomins. Thank you for joining on in with your comments as well. Certainly appreciative. So WWE Extreme Rules is on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pre-show is at 7. Definitely, if you want to check out Extreme Rules, see who the White Rabbit is, go check that out. And we'll obviously report back next Thursday with what we thought of the show and everything else and run it all down for you once again. If you guys would like to follow us, you can always do that as well. First and foremost, it's at WTN Wrestling. Anywhere on social media aside from Twitch, where it's WTN_Wrestling Talk Now. Feel free to like and follow there so we can get affiliated there as well and start making some more moolah. And Real Talk, as well, me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JLBTLC25.
Plug his own shit.
Plug my own shit as well, where I just play a bunch of video games, and that's pretty much it. But you can always follow my co-compadres. We'll go with the crazy one first. Kid Crazy, where can they follow you, good sir?
You can follow me on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch. Just look up Saltita Costa. And for anything wrestling, you can right here on Wrestling Talk Now, WTN. Just look it up. You'll find us.
Boom. And of course, you can only follow this man on social media, and that's it. Nowhere else. Do not go behind him. Do not lurk around a corner. Strictly just social media. You can follow Jeff T at...
You can follow me on Twitter at GT9783. And I don't want to say my Twitch name because there's people out there that mispronounce what it is because they did it last night or a couple of nights ago. Because I renamed my Twitch account. Wink, wink, Justin. But so you can see me on Twitch at Cybot, not Sailboat, Justin.
Cybot
_ noob97. Where Justin got raped in Killer Instinct last night. So
you can
see me playing.
Killed, annihilated, ultra combo galore. It was very, very demasculating. And that's it, guys. So I do not have a patchy beard. Actually, I do. So that's kind of correct. And of course, we will be recapping everything on social media. So feel free to check everything there. And until next time, I should probably get that ready again too. So until
at least we know this week the show's gonna show.
Yeah. Last week it went on an extra 15 minutes with nobody on.
Extra 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We had the bright idea that it was gonna end when me and
if you guys closed it.
Yeah, well, we leave the studio should be good. And then it kept on going.
Did he actually leave or he just left the studio part?
No, he had left before, and then we finished off the show, but he wasn't there to turn it off. So we're like, okay, if we just leave studio,
Oh,
it should
so
turn
it
off.
just kept.
It just kept on
Oh
going
my
for an extra
God.
15 minutes after he realized it,
Jesus
and he came back and he
Christ.
closed it. So this week, yeah,
One
we
job,
will be
Big Red.
signing
One
off.
job. We will be signing off. Yeah, for sure. So until next time, guys. Ciao for now.